Chapter 276. Under everyone's shocked gaze, Yuan Jinhua's body began to crumble bit by bit. Finally, he disappeared completely from the world, not even leaving behind a bloody mist. Tang Qing, Tang Xueyao, and the others widened their eyes. An expert with 9 totems, ranked 25th on the divine list, was killed with one blow. Lu Yiping looked at the other experts from the undead tribe and the Firmament Palace. The hundreds of experts from the undead tribe, the Firmament Palace, and the Demon Gathering sect all retreated in fear. Wherever Lu Yiping's gaze passed, all the experts gathered around the Firmament Thunder sect retreated in fear. Kill. Lu Yiping said indifferently. As soon as Lu Yiping finished speaking, Taurus Longjiao moved. Taurus Longjiao arrived in front of Qin Jiuchen, another expert with 9 totems from the Firmament Palace, and slapped him directly. Before Qin Jiuchen could react, he was smashed by the corner of Taurus Longjiao's hand. The experts from the undead tribe and the Firmament Palace looked at Qin Jiuchen's body, their faces drained of color. Another supreme ancient god with 10 totems? Everyone felt that it was absurd. After all, the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion only had 3 of the 10 totems. And in front of them, Lu Yiping and his 2 servants were all 10 great totems. Taurus Longjiao did not stop attacking. With one step, he arrived in front of the other 3 experts with 9 totems from the undead tribe. This time, he did not attack. Instead, a small fish appeared in his hand, and he swept it out. When the small fish swept out, it instantly grew as big as a mountain. The 9 great totems of the undead were blasted away and smashed into the distant mountain range. When the 9 great totems were smashed into the mountain range, they exploded, and their flesh and blood spilled freely into their veins. Then, Taurus Longjiao took another step and arrived in front of Meng Lin, Zhuang Bai, Hu Na, and Ling Shi. Meng Lin, Zhuang Bai, and the other 2 undead experts panicked, but just as they were about to turn and flee, Taurus Longjiao's little fish arrived. Just like the 3 undead experts with 9 totem tattoos, all 4 of them were sent flying. After sending the 4 people flying, Taurus Longjiao chuckled and walked towards the 8 totems. At this moment, Huan Zhen was looking in the direction of the Azure Thunder Divine Sect in the Horizon Association Leader's Mansion. Old Jiang shook his head and said, "The undead tribe and the 9 great totems from the Firmament Palace are all out. Together with Meng Lin and the other 3 from the Demon Gathering sect, there are 9 great totems experts. The Firmament Thunder sect is unable to protect Lu Yiping." Huan Zhen nodded and lamented, "What a pity." It was unknown whether it was a pity for Lu Yiping or for Lu Yiping's stellar chaos water. With the undead tribe, Firmament Palace, and Demon Gathering sects experts rushing towards the Firmament Thunder sect, it was impossible for the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce not to know about such a big commotion. Old Jiang said, "It's rumored that Lu Yiping's totem is huge, a miracle of the ages. However, no matter how monstrous a genius is, once he falls, what's the use?" At this time, an expert from the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce came in and reported, "Sir President, Old Jiang, Yin Wei is outside, saying that he has an urgent matter to discuss with you." Urgent matter? Huan Zhen was confused. Yin Wei was in charge of the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce's intelligence. Huan Zhen had asked him to pay attention to the Firmament Thunder sect's movements and report to him if there were any results. Could it be that there were already results? However, the undead tribe, Firmament Palace, and Demon Gathering sects experts had just arrived at the Firmament Thunder sect. Could it be that the Firmament Thunder sect was breached so quickly? "Let him in," Huan Zhen said. A short while later, Yin Wei, who was in charge of the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce's intelligence, rushed in. "Sir President, Old Jiang." The moment Yin Wei entered, he said hurriedly, "There's news from the Firmament Thunder sect that Wu Tong is dead." "What?" Huan Zhen and Old Jiang were shocked. Wu Tong was ranked 14th on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking list, second only to Old Jiang who was ranked 13th. "Who is it?" Wanzhen couldn't help but ask. It's that scholarly middle-aged man subordinate by Lu Yiping's side. Yin Wei said. It's him. Wanzhen and old Jiang looked at each other, and the scene of Lu Yiping saying that his subordinate was a great expert flashed in their minds. One of the 10 great totems. Old Jiang still couldn't believe it, asking for confirmation. Yin Wei said, yes, and each of the 10 totems he condensed reached 120 li. He couldn't hide the shock on his face as he said this. 120 li of the 10 great totems. Wanzhen and old Jiang were equally shocked. Half a second later, Wanzhen recovered from his shock, and said with a complicated expression, even if this person is only at the early stage of the 10 great totems, his battle strength is comparable to the late stage of the 10 great totems. Late stage of the 10 great totems. This was already the strength of the top 3 on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking list. When the news came, Lu Yiping had yet to kill Yuan Jinhua. Thus, Yin Wei didn't know that Lu Yiping had killed Yuan Jinhua. At this time, Yin Wei's communication talisman vibrated. He took it out and was dumbfounded. He stuttered, Lord President, old Jiang, this is the latest news from the Azure Thunder Divine sect. He handed the communication talisman to them. Wanzhen and old Jiang saw the change in Yin Wei's expression and were puzzled. Did something happen at the Azure Thunder Divine sect? Both of them looked at the communication talisman and were equally dumbfounded. Lu Yiping and his other subordinate are also part of the 10 great totems. Wanzhen didn't know what to say. The content of the communication talisman was the news of Lu Yiping killing Yuan Jinhua and Taurus Longjiao killing Qin Zhicheng. Although Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao didn't use their totems, they could easily kill Yuan Jinhua and Qin Zhicheng. Without a doubt, they were the strongest ancient gods of the 10 great totems. At this time, in the undead tribe's ancestral land, Wu Zhen was leisurely drinking wine. At the same time, he was reading a book about the cultivation experience of an expert from the Middle Ages with great interest. Just as he was enjoying the show, he saw the undead tribe's patriarch, Wu Ming, running into the hall in fear. He reported to Zhongyu that Che Peng, Lu Yiping, and the dragon horn golden bull had killed Wu Tong, Yuan Jinhua, and Qin Zhicheng. Wu Zhen didn't even notice when the wine pot in his hand fell to the ground. He sat there in a daze. Even when Wu Ming called out to him, he was still in a daze. Moments later, the entire undead tribe fell silent. The same went for the Firmament Palace. Half an hour passed. In the Firmament Thunder sect, Lu Yiping watched indifferently as more than 500 experts from the undead tribe, the Firmament Palace, the Demon Gathering sect, the Cult of the Gory Sea, the Stone Bone sect, and the Ghost Temple were killed. The rocks and leaves of the surrounding mountains were covered in blood. Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Peng returned to the Starry Moon Peak after killing the experts from the various sections. Some of the experts from the other evil sects who were gathered in the distance couldn't help but fall to the ground as they watched Lu Yiping and the other 2 leave. The news of the Firmament Thunder sect spread quickly. The Chaos Dimension fell silent. The next day, when Lu Yiping was cultivating, Su Teng and Zhou Ken knocked on the door of Lu Yiping's palace carefully. Oh, the Northern Wilderness Prefecture Master wants to invite me to a banquet? Lu Yiping said. Yes, the Northern Wilderness Prefecture Commander is outside. Do you want to see him? Su Teng asked carefully. He's coming in, Lu Yiping said. Chapter 277. Su Teng and Zhou Ken nodded respectfully and left the room. Soon, they returned with Fang Donghua, the Northern Wilderness Divine Government's Grand Marshal. The Northern Wilderness Divine Government was not just the most powerful force in the Northern Wilderness Starfield. The Northern Wilderness Divine Government's master ruled the Northern Wilderness Starfield on behalf of the Upper Realm. Therefore, the Northern Wilderness Divine Government's master was not only the most powerful person in the Northern Wilderness Starfield, but he was also the true ruler of the Northern Wilderness Starfield. In the Northern Wilderness Starfield, no one dared to go against the Northern Wilderness Divine Government's orders. There were 100 grand marshals in the Northern Wilderness Divine Government, and each of them had 1,000,000,000 soldiers under their command. These grand marshals led their troops to guard the Northern Wilderness Starfield. Fong Donghua was the leader of the grand marshals, and also the right-hand man of the Northern Wilderness Divine Government. Now, the Northern Wilderness Divine Government's master had invited Lu Yiping to a banquet, and for Fong Donghua to personally invite him, it showed how much importance he placed on Lu Yiping. There were not many people in the Northern Wilderness Starfield who were worthy of an invitation from Fong Donghua, at least not Su Teng. When Fong Donghua entered and saw Lu Yiping sitting with his legs crossed, he quickly stepped forward and cupped his fists respectfully. Fong Donghua of the Northern Wilderness Divine Government greets Master Lu Yiping. I heard from Su Teng that your Divine Government's master invited me to a banquet, Lu Yiping said. Fong Donghua quickly replied, yes, our Divine Government's master invited Lu Yiping to a banquet. At this point, he took out a golden invitation card, stepped forward, and presented it to Lu Yiping respectfully. Although Fong Donghua was the leader of the Northern Wilderness Divine Government's Grand Marshals, he was only at the peak of the late stage of the 9 totem inscriptions, and ranked 11th on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking. He dared not act rashly in front of Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping opened the invitation. On the invitation, there were a few words written by the Northern Wilderness Divine Government's master. Although there were only numbers, there was an aura of absolute dominance. Lu Yiping closed the invitation and asked casually, apart from me, did your manor head invite anyone else? Fong Donghua hesitated for a moment before replying truthfully, in addition to Sir Lu, our mansion master has also invited Sir Wuzhen from the Undying Tribe, Sir Chao Yun from the Firmament Palace, Sir Hu Fei from the 9 Fox Clan, Sir Hu Tao, Sir Peerless Sword Emperor, Sir Blue Blood Demon Master, and Sir Sacred Hand Buddha God. There were 3 of the 10 great totems in the Northern Wilderness Divine House. That meant that other than the 3 from the Northern Wilderness Divine House, the rest of the top 10 fighters on the Divine ranking had all been invited by the Northern Wilderness Divine House. According to the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking, anyone who killed or defeated someone on the Divine ranking would be automatically replaced on the ranking. Lu Yiping had killed Yuan Jinhua, so he was now 25th on the Divine ranking. Taurus Longjiao had killed Qin Jiucheng and was now number 28 on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking list. Che Ziping had killed Wu Tong, so his ranking was higher than Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. He was now number 14 on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking list. Alright, I understand. I will attend the banquet. Lu Yiping said. Since the Northern Wilderness Divine House was back, he wanted to meet him to see if the jade he was wearing was really the Good Fortune Jade Disc. Alright, the Northern Wilderness Divine House will be waiting for Sir Lu. Dongfang Hua was overjoyed. He said respectfully and left. After Dongfang Hua left, the Dragon Horn Golden Bull chuckled and said, Hao Yanbi clearly knows that Master, the Undying Tribe, and the Firmament Palace have become sworn enemies. Yet, he still invited Wu Zhen and Chao Yun to a banquet. What does he mean? Hao Yanbi was the Northern Wilderness Divine House's real name. Su Ting stepped forward and said carefully, my guess is that the Northern Wilderness Divine House wants peace in the Northern Wilderness Starfield. He doesn't want to see Sir, the Undying Tribe and the Firmament Palace fighting each other. I'm afraid that the Northern Wilderness Divine House will be the mediator between Sir, the Undying Tribe and the Firmament Palace. Taurus Longjiao said, Hao Yanbi wants us to let Wu Zhen and Chao Yun go. He continued, he really thinks that he has a lot of face. He wants us to let Wu Zhen and Chao Yun go just because of a banquet. Su Teng and Zhou Qin did not dare to say anything. Lu Yiping stood up and said calmly, since Hao Yanbi invited Wu Zhen and Chao Yun to the banquet, it saves us a trip to the Undying Tribe and the Firmament Palace. The banquet was held 7 days later. Therefore, Lu Yiping was in no hurry to go to the Firmament Palace and the Undying Tribe. He sat cross-legged under the tree and continued to cultivate the immortal sky with technique and the Good Fortune Jade Disc. Su Teng and Zhou Can left the Starry Moon Peak and returned to the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestral ground. Looks like Sir is really going to attack Wu Zhen and Chao Yun during the banquet. Sword Ancestor Zhou Can frowned. Su Teng was also worried. If Lu Yiping went against the will of the Northern Wilderness Divine House Master, the Divine House Master would definitely be angry. Su Teng's scalp went numb at the thought of the Northern Wilderness Divine House. The Northern Wilderness Divine House was not something that the Firmament Palace and the Undying Tribe could compare to. Not to mention the Firmament Palace and the Undying Tribe, even all the super sects in the Northern Wilderness Starfield combined could not compare to the Northern Wilderness Divine House. Otherwise, how could the Northern Wilderness Divine House control the 3,000 planes in the Northern Wilderness Starfield? The Northern Wilderness Divine House's strength was unfathomable. On the surface, the Northern Wilderness Divine House only had 3 great totem experts. However, everyone knew that there were more than 3 of them. Moreover, the Northern Wilderness Divine House was riding on the will of the God World Above Realm. The God World Above Realm was behind them. Why don't we let Tang Bin persuade Sir? Zhou Can said. Both of them knew that Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao had taken Tang Bin as their underling and liked him a lot. Su Teng hesitated for a moment and nodded. Soon, Tang Qin received the orders from Su Teng and Zhou Can. Tang Qin frowned when he received the message. What's wrong? Jiang Xian asked. Tang Qin passed the message to Jiang Xian. Jiang Xian's expression changed when she saw it. Sir Lu wants to kill Wu Zhen and Chao Yun during the banquet. Where's Bin Er? Tang Qin asked. I don't know where he went to play again. Jiang Xian felt helpless when she mentioned her youngest son. Call him back. A few days passed. Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Peng set off for the Northern Wilderness Divine House. The Northern Wilderness Divine House stood on a plain in the Chaos Plain. There were many palaces around the Divine House and countless Divine House soldiers. Without the Divine House's order, ordinary people were not allowed to come within 10,000 miles of the Divine House. When Lu Yiping and the rest arrived, the sky had just brightened. The morning sun shone on the Northern Wilderness Divine House, covering it in a layer of faint golden light. Looking at the majestic Northern Wilderness Divine House in front of him, Lu Yiping's expression was calm as usual. He stepped into the air and flew towards the Divine House. Taurus Longjiao and Che Peng followed closely behind. When Lu Yiping appeared, the Divine House Army's commander immediately came forward to welcome Lu Yiping and the rest. Not long after they entered the plain, Dongfang Hua came out to welcome Lu Yiping and the rest personally. In one of the palaces in the Northern Wilderness Divine House, there stood a few beautiful women. One of them was the Undead Tribe's 4th princess, Wu Mei. They were looking at Lu Yiping and the rest from afar. That's Lu Yiping. The leader of the group, a tall and slender woman, asked. Chapter 278. Yes, Your Highness. Wu Mei quickly replied. The tall lady was the daughter of the Northern Wilderness Prefecture Governor, Haolian Qingyue. Lin Yen from the Firmament Palace hesitated for a moment and said, the Firmament Palace and the Undead Tribe naturally hope to make peace with Lu Yiping, but what if Lu Yiping doesn't follow the estate master's wishes? Haolian Qingyue said calmly, do you think he dares to disobey my father? Don't worry, as long as he still has a shred of rationality, he won't dare to disobey my father. When the banquet starts, let's go to the main hall. Haolian Qingyue said, but I'm curious if Lu Yiping's totem is really that big. After a while, they all left the pavilion. Lu Yiping and the rest followed Dongfang Hua to the main hall of the Northern Wilderness Prefecture. The main hall was extremely grand and majestic. Walking in it felt like walking under the vast sky. There were rows of seats in the main hall. 2 rows of seats were occupied by an elder with a ruddy complexion. The elder sat there with thousands of sword chi restrained, like a supreme sword formation that could be activated at any time. Dongfang Hua introduced him to Lu Yiping, this is the unparalleled Sword Emperor. The unparalleled Sword Emperor, Niehengsheng, who was sitting upright in his seat, immediately looked at Lu Yiping and the other two with cold eyes. Previously, his third disciple, Yuxixiang, had followed the experts of the Firmament Palace to the Firmament Thunder sect and was killed by Taurus Longjiao. Lu Yiping and the rest went to their seats. Taurus Longjiao and Che Ping sat behind Lu Yiping. Then, Sacred Hand Buddha and Blue Blood Demon Master arrived. On the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking, Sacred Hand Buddha and Blue Blood Demon Master were ranked 8th and 9th respectively. After them were Hu Fei and Hu Tao from the Nine Fox tribe. As the second most powerful force in the Northern Wilderness Starfield, the Nine Fox tribe had two 10 great totems. Hu Fei and Hu Tao were ranked 3rd and 6th respectively. In the end, Wu Zhen, ranked 4th on the divine list, and Chao Yun, ranked 7th on the divine list, arrived together. When the two of them arrived, they glanced at Lu Yiping. After Wu Zhen and Chao Yun arrived, the Northern Desolation Institute principal Hao Lianbi also arrived. Behind him were the second ranked on the God ranking list, God of Destruction, and the 5th ranked God of Copper. God of Destruction, ranked 2nd on the divine ranking, and God of Copper, ranked 5th on the divine ranking, were extremely mysterious. They rarely appeared, and no one knew their real names. The God of Destruction was shrouded in a faint light, which obscured his appearance. The God of Copper was clad in a bronze divine armor, which covered his face completely. Only his eyes could be seen. Behind them were Haoyan Qingyue, Lin Yiyan, Wu Ku, Wu Mei, and Jiuhu Xuemeng. Haoyan Qingyue, Lin Yiyan, Wu Ku, and Jiuhu Xuemeng were the Chaos Plane's 6 great beauties. Hao Lianbi, the Northern Baron Association leader, smiled brightly and greeted everyone politely. He then sat down with God of Destruction, God of Bronze, Hao Lianbi, Qingyue, and the others. Of course, Haoyan Qingyue and the others sat in the second row. After 3 rounds of wine, Hao Lianbi smiled and said to Lu Yiping, Master Lu, the battle at the Azure Thunder Divine sect has shocked the world. He paused for a moment before continuing, however, you, Wu Zhen, and Chao Yun are the pillars of our Northern Barren Starfield. If you continue to fight, you will only become a laughing stock in other starfields. Today, I, Hao Lianbi, will be the peacemaker. Drink this wine and let bygones be bygones. How about it? Hao Lianbi raised the wine cup in his hand. Wu Zhen and Chao Yun also raised the wine cup in their hands. Everyone's eyes fell on Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping sat still. In the past 2 days, he had found out that the Northern Baron Divine Manor, the Undead Tribe, and the Firmament Palace had always been involved. Wu Zhen and Chao Yun often gave Hao Lianbi good things. Because of this, Hao Lianbi decided to be the peacemaker. Seeing Lu Yiping sitting still, Hao Lianbi's brows furrowed. Taurus Longjiao said calmly, Wu Zhen and Chao Yun ordered the Undead Tribe and Firmament Palace's experts to come to the Azure Thunder Divine sect to kill my master. Now, you want my master to let Wu Zhen and Chao Yun go with just 1 sentence. Seeing that Lu Yiping did not speak, Hao Lianbi was even more displeased. He looked at Lu Yiping, waiting for Lu Yiping to speak. Lu Yiping did not look at Hao Lianbi. Instead, he looked at Wu Zhen and Chao Yun and said, since the order was given by you, if you kill yourselves, this matter will be considered over. Wu Zhen and Chao Yun were infuriated hearing this. Hao Lianbi's face darkened. The 9 Fox tribes Hu Fei, Hu Tao, and Sacred Hand Buddha God frowned. Who was Hao Lianbi? He was the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode's principal, the ruler of the Northern Wilderness Starfield. Even he had spoken to Lu Yiping personally. Lu Yiping did not know what was good for him. The Peerless Sword Emperor and Blue Blood Archdevil sneered at Lu Yiping. The devil congregating sects Meng Lin and the others were Blue Blood Archdevils juniors. They were killed by Taurus Longjiao and Che Zipeng. Naturally, Blue Blood Archdevil did not have a good impression of Lu Yiping. Master Lu, it's better to squash enmity than keep it alive. Hao Lianbi said in a low voice, "Why are you so fixated on revenge? This matter ends here." Hao Lianbi emphasized. Earlier, he was asking Lu Yiping for his opinion, but now, he was telling him to end it here. It was as if Hao Lianbi did not ask for Lu Yiping's opinion and directly announced the end of this matter. Wu Zhen and Chao Yun raised their cups and smiled at Hao Lianbi. "Thank you, Lord Manor Lord. We will follow Lord Manor Lord's wishes." Then, they downed their cups in one gulp. Hao Lianbi nodded with a smile. Just as he was about to raise his cup, Lu Yiping said, "Kill them." Che Ziping stood up and said respectfully, "Yes, Lord." Everyone's expression turned strange. This Lu Yiping clearly heard Hao Lianbi say that this matter would end here, but he still wanted his subordinates to kill them. This was simply ignoring Hao Lianbi. Hao Lianbi laughed in anger. He stared at Lu Yiping and asked, "Master Lu, are you sure you want to do this?" As the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode's overlord, the overlord of the entire Northern Wilderness Starfield, Lu Yiping still wanted to kill them. He wanted his subordinates to kill Wu Zhen and Chao Yun. What did Lu Yiping mean by this? After his repeated attempts to mediate, Lu Yiping still wanted to kill Wu Zhen and Chao Yun in front of him. God Slaying and God Tong, who were sitting beside Hao Lianbi, also locked their auras on Lu Yiping. Both of them released their auras, shaking heaven and earth. In an instant, the sky changed color, thunder rumbled, and lightning flashed. Heaven and earth darkened in an instant. The great army outside the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode felt the aura in the Great Hall, and they were all shocked. They quickly gathered around, and the various commanders rushed into the Great Hall. The atmosphere in the Great Hall was tense. Tension, killing intent, and coldness filled the air. The 9th Fox Tribe's patriarch, Hu Fei, spoke to Lu Yiping, "Master Lu, Lord Manor Lord has good intentions. Why must you be so stubborn?" The Sacred Hand Buddha God also advised, "Master Lu, repent and be saved." Lu Yiping's gaze swept over the crowd. Watching the numerous experts rushing into the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode, he ordered, "Kill." Chapter 279. Hao Lianbi's face darkened when he saw that Lu Yiping still dared to shout, "Kill," even after countless experts from the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace had rushed in. It had been many years since he was this angry. Activate the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion Grand Formation. Kill. Hao Lianbi's cold voice rang throughout the entire Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion. Every expert in the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion could hear Hao Lianbi's cold voice. Suddenly, the light from the Grand Formation shot up to the sky and shrouded the entire Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion. The power of the Grand Formation roared. Feeling the terrifying power of the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion's Grand Formation, Hu Fei and the rest of the 9 Fox Tribe were shocked. "Retreat!" Hu Fei shouted at Jiuhu Shuemeng and flew out of the main hall with her. Hu Tao and the rest also retreated out of the main hall in a flash. When Hao Lianbi gave the order to kill, God of Destruction and God of Copper attacked at the same time. Both of them reached Lu Yiping at lightning speed. God of Destruction strike. God of Destruction's hands shone with grey light. Hand of Destruction. God of Copper's hands shone with golden light. Both of them unleashed their most powerful attacks, causing the totems behind them to fly out. Although none of the totems were as large as Che Peng's, each of them had more than 160 million magical laws of the God world. That was far more than the initial 100 million magical laws of the 10 totems. God of Destruction, who was ranked second, had gathered more than 169 million God world laws, which was infinitely close to 170 million. Once he broke through 170 million, he would be at the peak of the later stage of the 10 Great Totem Grand Formation. The two of them attacked at the same time, causing the mountains to crumble and the earth to crack. The incomparably spacious and sturdy main hall trembled under their strength. If not for the Grand Formation's protection, their strength alone would have been enough to shatter the main hall. Just as God of Destruction and God of Copper attacked Lu Yiping, Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, and even the unparalleled Sword Emperor attacked at the same time. The three of them summoned their 10 totems at the same time. When Wu Zhen punched out, the undying grey flame surged like the sea. It was many times stronger than Wu Tong's. As Chao Yun punched out with his fists, a god of astrology condensed behind him. Countless starlight illuminated the layers of space. The unparalleled Sword Emperor's tens of millions of sword chis formed into layers of sword formations, blotting out the sky and covering the earth, and instantly arrived in front of Lu Yiping. Following that, the 100 commanders of the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace set up a killing array and attacked at the same time. Each of the 100 Grand Commanders had 9 totems, and when 100 Grand Commanders attacked at the same time, their power was no weaker than several ancient god experts with 10 totems. Hao Lianbi did not make a move. In his opinion, there was no need for him to make a move when God Destroyer, God Copper, Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, Unparalleled Sword Sovereign, and 100 Grand Commanders attacked at the same time. The destructive power was enough to destroy an immemorial divine mountain. Even the people who had retreated from the main hall were overwhelmed with shock when they felt the power that could destroy heaven and earth. Hu Fei of the 9 Fox tribe shook his head. The tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. This Lu Yiping is too flashy. Looks like he won't be able to walk out of the Northern Wilderness Divine Residence alive. Archdevil Venerable Blue Blood's eyes were bloodshot, and he laughed. His blood should be very nutritious. When Lu Yiping was heavily injured, he would take the opportunity to devour Lu Yiping's flesh and blood. Hao Yan Qingyue looked at the besieged Lu Yiping indifferently. Ever since her father had taken control of the Northern Wilderness God Mansion, he had killed many of the 10 great totem ancient gods who had gone against his will. Hence, she was already used to such a scene. Just when everyone thought that Lu Yiping and the other 2 were about to be blasted away, the world suddenly paused. Starlight exploded from Che Peng's body, and totems flew out one after another. Looking at Che Peng's 120 Li totems, Hu Fei of the 9 Fox tribe shook his head. Even if Lu Yiping had 120 Li totems, the 3 of them would not be able to walk out of the Northern Wilderness Divine Residence alive today. Unless the one from the Netherworld Sea came to save Lu Yiping and the other 2. Che Peng's 10 totems flew out. Just when everyone thought that it was over, the world lit up with unprecedented brightness, and another totem flew out. The light from the 11 totems illuminated the heaven and earth. Whether it was the 10 great totems of the God Destroyer and Copper God, or the 10 great totems of Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, or the Peerless Sword Sovereign, they were all overshadowed by the light from the 11 totems. When the 11 totems flew out, the airwaves in the main hall seemed to have stopped. Even God Destroyer, Copper God, Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, Wu Shuang Sword Sovereign, and the rest's destructive power weakened. Everyone's strength was suppressed. God Destroyer, Copper God, Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, Wu Shuang Sword Sovereign, and the rest of the captains were aghast when they saw the 11 totems flying out. 11 totems. This Lu Yiping has 11 totems under his control. 9 Fox tribes Hu Fei, Hu Tao, Archdevil Venerable Blue Blood, Hao Yan Qingyue, 9 Fox Shui Meng, and the rest were all in disbelief. Hao Lianbi was also shocked. 10 totems was the limit of the ancient god realm. It was almost impossible to break the rules of the divine world. Even if Hao Lianbi, the Northern Desolation Divine Palace Lord, had used countless methods and consumed countless treasures, he still couldn't break the rules of the divine world. Lu Yiping's subordinates had broken the rules of the divine world. Retreat! Hao Lianbi shouted in shock. As the Northern Desolation Divine Palace Lord, he was at the peak of the late stage of the 10 totems. He knew better than anyone else how terrifying the 11 totems were. Just as Hao Lianbi finished speaking, Che Peng attacked. He punched out, causing heaven and earth to tremble. Stars flew out from the sky. Previously, he had used this move to kill Wu Tong. At that time, it was the 10 totems. Now, it was the 11 totems' power that were activated. The stars in the sky were faster, stronger, and more numerous. Annihilation God, Copper God, Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, Wushuang Sword Sovereign, and the others looked at the meteors that were shooting towards them. They could feel the terrifying power contained within the meteors and were terrified. They retreated frantically. However, just as they were about to retreat, the meteors came crashing down. Almost at the same time, God Destroyer, Copper God, Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, and Wushuang Sword Emperor were sent flying. They were shot out in different directions and smashed through the main hull. Then, the Northern Desolation Divine Palace's commanders were all sent flying. After the stars in the sky blasted God Destroyer, Copper God, and the others away, they didn't stop there. They slammed into the Northern Desolation Divine Palace's main hull. Instantly, the main hull of the Northern Desolation Divine Palace exploded. Countless stars continued to push forward, plowing through the Divine Palace army that was outside. The Divine Palace army that was dark and boundless outside were all blasted away. The stars blasted to the end of the plain and continued to move forward. They blasted into the mountain range beyond the plain. The mountain range was flattened. Mountains collapsed and the ground cracked. Blood rained down. Under this punch, the Divine Palace's grand formation was destroyed. The stars in the sky rolled past Hu Fei, Hu Tao, Demon Venerable Blue Blood, Hao Yan, Qin Yu, Jiuhu Shuemeng, and the others. Their faces were all distorted by the terrifying airwaves. Chapter 280. When the shockwave from Che Che Peng's fist swept past Hu Fei, Hu Tao, Archdevil Venerable Blue Blood, Hao Yan Qin Yu, Jiuhu Shuemeng, and the others, Hu Fei, Hu Tao, and the others were scared out of their wits. Everyone felt their hearts shuddering and their limbs trembling. Hao Yan Qin Yu, Jiuhu Shuemeng, and the others were so scared that they didn't know where they were. They felt like their eardrums were about to burst from the shockwave. After a long time, they regained their senses and realized that they were still in the mortal realm. When they saw the destroyed palaces of the Northern Wilderness Divine Manor, and the deep trenches in the ground caused by the shockwave, their souls shuddered. Hao Yan Qin Yu, Jiuhu Shuemeng, and the others had only heard that once one broke through the divine world's rules and broke through the 11th totem, they would become terrifyingly strong. However, they didn't know exactly how strong they would be. Now, they knew. Che Che Peng's devastating punch just now was like a blow to their hearts, something they would never forget for the rest of their lives. Archdevil Venerable Blue Blood was so scared that he felt like he was suffocating. He felt like he couldn't breathe, as if the air around him was blown away by that punch. In the Northern Wilderness Divine Manor's main hall, Lu Yiping looked at the terrified Hao Lianbi. He stood up and took a step forward, arriving before Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, and Wushuang Sword Emperor. The three of them were lying in the ruins, their bodies torn apart and covered in blood. Their 7 orifices were bleeding, and they were barely breathing. Their vitality was almost gone. Their totems, their godheads, they were all shattered beyond recognition. Indescribable fear flashed in their eyes. Lu Yiping's god force formed a blade in his hand, and with a swipe of his hand, the three's heads were lopped off. Then, Lu Yiping came before God Slaying and God Tong. At this time, their divine armors were shattered, and like Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, and Sword Emperor, they were covered in blood. When the two men saw Lu Yiping coming over, they opened their mouths, wanting to say something. However, Lu Yiping's palm blade also came down, chopping off their heads. Hao Lianbi shuddered when he saw that Lu Yiping had also beheaded God Destroyer and Copper God. The two of them were his subordinates and were the deputy prefecture lords of the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace. Their status was completely different from Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, and the unparalleled Sword Emperor. But just now, Lu Yiping had beheaded them without batting an eye. Lu Yiping didn't care about the 9 great totem commanders. They had already been blasted to smithereens. After cutting off the heads of God Destroyer and God Copper, Lu Yiping walked towards Hao Lianbi. Protect the prefecture lord. The remaining elites of the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace shouted in fear as they rushed forward. Hao Lianbi shouted, "All of you, back off." Against someone like Chaitsipeng, these Divine Palace elites would only be courting death if they rushed forward. Lu Yiping came before Hao Lianbi and said indifferently, "You should be glad that you didn't make a move just now." Hao Lianbi's face turned ugly. Lu Yiping meant that if he had made a move just now, his head would have been chopped off like God Destroyer and Copper God. Hao Lianbi's eyes flickered. The Northern Wilderness Divine Palace controlled the Northern Wilderness Starfield, and of course, they had their own trump cards. He was considering whether to use that trump card, but in the end, he gave up. Because even if he used that trump card, he might not be able to kill Chaitsipeng. Since he couldn't kill Chaitsipeng, Lu Yiping, and the other two, it wasn't worth it to use that trump card because it would come at a great price. Seeing the change in Hao Lianbi's expression, Lu Yiping said indifferently, "You should be glad that you didn't use the Divine Palace's trump card just now. Otherwise, you'd be a dead man now." Hao Lianbi was bewildered. From Lu Yiping's tone, other than Chaitsipeng, he seemed to have other cards up his sleeves. Lu Yiping turned around and walked towards the 9 fox tribes Hu Fei, Hu Tao, Hao Lian, Qingyue, and Xuemeng. His blue robe fluttered like the clear blue sky, but seeing Lu Yiping walking towards them, Hu Fei, Hu Tao, and the others were terrified, but no one dared to run away. Lu Yiping stopped in front of Hu Fei and the others. "Master Lu." Hu Fei, Hu Tao, and the others smiled, but their tongues were stiff. Because the muscles on their faces were too stiff, their smiles didn't look like smiles. Lu Yiping looked at Blue Blood Archdevil. "You said that my blood is very nourishing, right?" Blue Blood Archdevil's face paled. He didn't expect that Lu Yiping had heard what he said just now. Lu Yiping raised his hand and pointed a finger. The light wave from his finger struck Blue Blood Archdevil. Demon Venerable Blue Blood was sent flying. Then, he slowly turned into specks of light that drifted into the sky. Hu Fei, Hu Tao, and even Hao Lianbi felt their hearts skip a beat. Killing at 10 great totems with one finger. This Lu Yiping, could it be? Also an 11 great totems? Hao Lian, Qingyue, Xuemeng, and the others also thought of the same question. The way they looked at Lu Yiping changed again. Lu Yiping glanced at the undead tribe's 4th princess Wu Mei standing beside Qingyue. This one glance made Wu Mei's insides tremble. In the end, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Chaitsipeng floated away. Blue robes fluttering in the wind. Golden retrievers light. White robes elegant. Under the sunlight, the three's shadows were elongated. Hao Lianbi only retracted his gaze after Lu Yiping and the other two disappeared into the horizon. He looked at the ruins of the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode, the blood in the ruins, and the headless bodies of God Destroyer and God Tong. His fists were clenched and his eyes were filled with anger, coldness, and murderous intent. But in the end, he relaxed his fists and sat on the throne. He looked like he had aged a lot. At this time, in the Horizon Commerce Hall, Wan Zhen and Old Jiang were discussing Lu Yiping's invitation to a banquet by Hao Lianbi. Wan Zhen said, "The prefecture lord invited Lu Yiping to a banquet to make peace between Lu Yiping, Wu Zhen, and Chao Yun. When the 10 great totems were involved in a battle, Hao Lianbi would usually intervene." Old Jiang shook his head, "I'm afraid Lu Yiping won't agree." Wan Zhen sighed, "Lu Yiping won't dare to disagree with the prefecture lord. Who in the Northern Wilderness Starfield dares to go against his will?" At this time, Yin Wei walked into the hall. His hands and legs were shaking as if the sky was falling down. His face was pale with fright. What happened? Wan Zhen saw Yin Wei's expression and asked in shock. He had never seen his subordinate Yin Wei like this before. Something happened to the Northern Wilderness Divine Abode. Yin Wei's voice trembled. "Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, Unparalleled Sword Monarch, and Archdevil Venerable Blue Blood are all dead." What? Wu Zhen and old Jiang were shocked. Not only Wu Zhen and the other three, even Lord God Destroyer and Lord Copper, and 100 of our Northern Wilderness Divine Abode's Grand Commanders are all dead. Yin Wei continued. Wu Zhen and old Jiang's minds went blank, their jaws dropped. God Destroyer and God Copper, the two deputy prefecture lords of the Northern Wilderness Divine Prefecture, as well as 100 Grand Commanders of the Northern Wilderness Divine Prefecture, were killed. It's Lu Yiping. Wu Zhen could not believe it. Yin Wei took a deep breath and nodded. Lu Yiping's subordinate has 11 totems. Wu Zhen and old Jiang's minds went blank again. That scholarly middle-aged man has 11 totems. Chapter 281. The scene of Lu Yiping saying that his subordinate was a great expert appeared in Wu Zhen and old Jiang's minds. Earlier, during the battle at the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, they had thought that Che Peng was one of the 10 great totems. Only now did they understand what Lu Yiping meant when he said his subordinate was a great expert. So, it's not one of the 10 great totems. It's 11 totems. Wu Zhen muttered to himself. Lu Yiping, who the hell are you? A long time later, Wu Zhen's emotions were complicated. Earlier, he had joked with Lu Yiping that his daughter, Wan Hui, praised Lu Yiping for being polite and courteous, and he even wanted to matchmake the two of them. Now, even if he was given 100 guts, he wouldn't dare to matchmake the two of them. Yin Wei added, also, Lu Yiping is suspected to have 11 totems. Wu Zhen and old Jiang were dumbfounded. When Lu Yiping left the Northern Desolate Divine Manor, he killed Archdevil Venerable Blue Blood with one finger. Yin Wei added, although I didn't see Lu Yiping summon 11 totems, I'm afraid that Lu Yiping also has 11 totems. Also 11 totems? Wu Zhen looked up at the sky, noticing that the sky today was blue. At the same time, in the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's ancestral land, Su Ting shook his head, saying, Tang Bin has advised Lord many times, but Lord is still determined to kill Wu Zhen and Chao Yun. Sword Ancestor Zhou Can's brows were tightly knitted together, deep worry written on his face as he said, although the three of them have 10 great totems, Lord Institute Principal's strength is unfathomable. There's also Lord Destruction God and Lord Copper God. Not to mention, the Northern Desolate Divine Manor's Grand Formation, the 9 Great Totems Commanders, and Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, and the others. If Lord and the three of them make a move, they will be in danger. It's a pity that we can't help much. Just as Sword Ancestor Zhou Can's words fell, the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's Sect Chief Fan Sheng walked into the ancestral land, trembling with excitement. Su Teng and Zhou Can were baffled by his actions. Moments later, both Su Teng and Zhou Can were dumbstruck, their faces filled with shock. You're saying that Master's subordinate, Che Peng, is an 11 totem? Su Teng couldn't believe it, and Master is also suspected to be an 11 totem? Fan Sheng would definitely nod his head like a chick pecking at rice. Su Teng and Zhou Can stood there in a daze, unable to react for a long time. Soon, the news about the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion spread like wildfire. The entire Northern Wilderness starfield was shaken to the core. All the forces were in disbelief. Wu Zhen is dead, Chao Yun is dead, Peerless Sword Emperor is dead, Blue Blood Demon Venerable is dead. God of Destruction is dead. So is God of Copper. 6 of the top 10 on the Northern Wilderness Divine ranking have fallen. Lu Yiping and the other 2 returned to the Azure Thunder Sect. After returning to the Azure Thunder Sect, Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the creation tree and continued to comprehend the great Daos in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th Good Fortune Jade discs. Initially, Wan Hui said that Hao Yanbi had a Good Fortune Jade disc on him, but Lu Yiping sensed that the Good Fortune Jade disc on Hao Yanbi was not the same. The Good Fortune Jade disc on Hao Yanbi was only similar. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. Over the past month, the disciples of the Firmament Thunder Divine Sect had discovered that all the sects were respectful and reverent when they saw the disciples of the Firmament Thunder Divine Sect. Even the second-ranked Nine Fox clan had taken the initiative to avoid them when they saw the disciples of the Firmament Thunder Divine sect. These days, the entire Stellar Moon Peak's disciples walked with light footsteps, as if they were afraid of disturbing someone. 1 month later, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao stopped cultivating and walked out of the palace. When they passed by Tang Bin's palace, they saw Tang Bin tossing pebbles in boredom. Lu Yiping and Zhou Can walked in. Big brother Lu, big brother Xiao Jin. Seeing Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, Tang Bin's childish face lit up with joy. Lu Yiping rubbed Tang Bin's head and laughed, "Why are you so depressed?" Tang Bin pouted, "Father and mother have forbidden me from looking for big brother Lu to play with you guys, so there's no one to play with me. I'm bored to death." "Where's your sister?" Lu Yiping asked. "My sister is cultivating almost every day, and she's been cultivating like her life depended on it." Tang Bin shook his head, "She doesn't have time to play with me." "Have you finished drinking the Star Chaos water?" Taurus Longjiao asked. "Not yet." Tang Bin shook his head, "I only eat 1 drop a day." Just as Lu Yiping and Zhou Can were chatting with Tang Bin, Su Ting came to the door. Su Ting did not dare to enter, so he stood outside the door and said respectfully, "My lord, President Wan Zhen is here." "Oh." Lu Yiping's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that Wan Zhen had found another Buzhou mountain stone or Jianshu tree block? Now, his Jianshu tree had grown to more than 2,200 meters, just a little more and it would grow to 2,400 meters. At that time, the 4th stage of the immortal sky would be revealed. "Let him in," Lu Yiping said. Su Ting acknowledged respectfully and retreated. Soon, he brought Wan Zhen, the president of the Tianji Chamber of Commerce, in. As the president of the Northern Wilderness Starfield's No. 1 Chamber of Commerce, Wan Zhen became very careful when he came to the yard. Especially when he was in front of Lu Yiping, he did not even dare to breathe loudly. He lowered his head slightly and said to Lu Yiping, "Lord Lu, we found some of the tree blocks that you asked us to look for." With that, he took out a spatial divine item and presented it to Lu Yiping with both hands. Lu Yiping opened the spatial divine item and saw a huge pile of Jianshu tree blocks inside. There were probably more than 1,000 of them. Lu Yiping's eyes lit up. He looked at Wan Zhen and smiled. "Indeed, these are the tree blocks that I'm looking for. It must have been hard on you to find so many tree blocks in a month." Wan Zhen was flattered and waved his hand. "Lord Lu, you flatter us. This is what our Chamber of Commerce should do." After the news of the battle at the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion spread, Wan Zhen had mobilized all the forces that the Chamber of Commerce could mobilize to look for stones, tree blocks, and jade plates for Lu Yiping. These tree blocks are 2,000 cubic meters. Here are 20,000 drops of Star Chaos water. Lu Yiping took out 20,000 drops of Star Chaos water. Wan Zhen waved his hand anxiously. "This is what our Chamber of Commerce should do. We cannot accept Lord Lu's Star Chaos water." Lu Yiping shook his head and said, "Take it." Hearing that, Wan Zhen did not dare to disobey and accepted the Star Chaos water. "Where did you find these tree blocks?" Lu Yiping asked. Wan Zhen quickly said, "Lord Lu, we found these tree blocks in the Nether Sea." He hesitated and said, "There should be more in the depths of the Nether Sea. However, we are close to the cultivation ground of that person. That's why our elites did not dare to go any deeper." "You're talking about the god of the underworld, Invincible," Taurus Longjiao said. Hearing Taurus Longjiao mention Invincible, Wan Zhen's face changed. He nodded and said, "Yes, Lord Lu." No matter who it was, no one in the Northern Wilderness Starfield would dare to call him by his name. They would only say that he existed. Although Hao Lianbi was No. 1 on the Northern Wilderness Divine Leaderboard, there was one more person above him. That was the god of the underworld, Invincible. He was an old monster that had existed for 300,000 years. Other than Lu Yiping and the other three, he was the only one with 11 totems in the northern wilderness starfield. Oh, the depths of the Nether Sea? Lu Yiping asked. Chapter 282. Yes, in the depths of the Netherworld Sea. Ruanzhen said, the experts of our Chamber of Commerce said that there should be more in the vicinity of that existence's place of cultivation. Moreover, there should be quite a few of them. Do you have time these days? Lu Yiping said, bring us to the place where we found the tree pieces. Then, he added, of course, I will not treat you unfairly. He took out 2 buckets of star chaos water. Ruanzhen's expression changed as she stared at the 2 buckets of star chaos water. Finally, she nodded, Ruanzhen will obey Lord Lu's orders. After agreeing on a time, Ruanzhen left to prepare for the Chamber of Commerce. Lu Yiping stayed in Tang Bin's courtyard for a while before returning to his palace with Taurus Longjiao. Inside the palace, Che Peng was sitting cross-legged under a divine tree, cultivating. Light surged from his body, and 11 totems hung above his head, emitting golden light. Beside the 11 totems, a totem was faintly discernible. This was the sign of condensing the 12th totem. Che Ziping had been trapped in the demon-suppressing pagoda for years, constantly comprehending the God world's laws. He had long reached the peak of the late-stage 11 totems, but was unable to break through to the 12th totem. These days, following Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's occasional guidance, and with Lu Yiping's elixirs, Che Peng was finally about to condense the 12th totem. The divine tree that Che Peng was sitting on, although not comparable to the creation tree, had an extraordinary origin. It was also one of the natural spiritual roots, called the 5 elements spirit fruit tree. Lu Yiping found it in a dangerous place in ancient times. Che Peng's talent is not bad. Taurus Longjiao said, it seems that he will be able to condense the 12th totem in 10 days at most. Lu Yiping nodded. Therefore, he and Horizon President Ruanzhen agreed to meet 10 days later. Lu Yiping took out all the tree pieces that Ruanzhen had just sent over and used the creation tree to fuse them. After a short while, the tree of creation finally grew to over 2,400 meters tall after fusing with these tree pieces. The chi of chaos was much denser, and the patterns of Tao on the tree trunk increased by quite a bit. The leaves of the tree of creation also became more luxuriant. The heaven-splitting rune shone with a mesmerizing light in the leaves of the builder tree. Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the tree of accomplishment and began to comprehend the 4th level of the immortal skywood technique. As for Taurus Longjiao, he cultivated his own legacy technique. He had the bloodline of the dragon ancestor and the lightning ancestor. He had the inherited cultivation methods of the 2 clans. Although the inherited cultivation methods of the 2 clans were not as powerful as the immortal skywood art, they were still extremely powerful. Several days passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, there was a sudden burst of energy fluctuations in the air. Lu Yiping opened his eyes and found Che Peng sitting cross-legged under the 5 elements spirit fruit tree. His aura fluctuated between strong and weak, and the 12th totem was flickering in and out of existence. Clearly, he had reached the critical moment of condensing the 12th totem. Seeing this, Lu Yiping tapped his finger, and a ray of light flew out and entered Che Peng's body. In an instant, Che Peng's unstable aura rose rapidly. Strands of divine world law appeared, and the 12th totem became clearer and clearer. In the end, the 12th totem was fully formed, emitting a blinding light. An aura that was much stronger than before swept out from Che Peng's body. At this moment, Che Peng's 12th totem was successfully condensed. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao walked out from under the tree of accomplishment. After stabilizing the ancient god force in his body, Che Peng walked towards Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, bowing respectfully, "Many thanks, lords." The 12th totem was harder to condense than the 11th totem. If it weren't for Lu Yiping's help, Che Peng wouldn't have been able to condense the 12th totem. If he had failed, he would have been seriously injured at best, or suffered a backlash from the totem's power, going berserk, and even his soul would be damaged. Lu Yiping had Che Peng stand up. Not bad, you've condensed the 12th totem. Taurus Longjiao grinned, you're almost on par with that kid Su Cheng from back then. Back then, when the master of myriad god Su Cheng was in the ancient god realm, he had only condensed 13 totems. In the ancient god realm, anyone who could condense 12 totems was a monster among monsters. In a star field, there might not even be one in 300,000 years. Che Peng smiled, this junior is far from being comparable to Lord Master of myriad gods. Lu Yiping said, when Su Cheng was in the ancient god realm, he was able to condense 13 totems because he obtained a rare treasure. In the future, if you have the opportunity to obtain a rare treasure, you may be able to condense 13 totems. However, on the path of cultivation, if you don't advance, you will fall behind. Therefore, you must not be complacent. Che Peng respectfully acknowledged. After that, Lu Yiping gave a divine pill to Che Peng, telling him to swallow it and stabilize his 12th totem realm. With Lu Yiping's divine pill, Che Peng completely stabilized his 12th totem realm within a day. Only then did Lu Yiping's group of 3 leave the Azure Thunder Divine Sect, heading to the Nethersea with Horizon President Wan Zhen and the rest. After leaving this time, he didn't know when he would return to the Azure Thunder Divine Sect. Therefore, before leaving, Lu Yiping gave Tang Bin 2 buckets of Star Chaos water and imparted a cultivation technique to Tang Bin. At the same time, he strengthened the Azure Thunder Divine Sect's Grand Protective Array. Tang Bin watched as Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left, his eyes brimming with tears as he shouted, Big Brother Lu, Big Brother Xiao Jin, remember to come back and play with me in the future. Lu Yiping smiled and nodded. Taurus Longjiao smiled and said, work hard in your cultivation, we will meet again in the future. Tang Bin watched as Lu Yiping and Lu Yiping left and suddenly said, Big Brother Xiao Jin, the next time you come back, bring me out to train. Taurus Longjiao turned around and smiled, sure, but you have to break through to the 11 totem ancient god realm first. Tang Bin was stunned and nodded heavily. Under the respectful escort of Azure Thunder God Zhongzhong, Lu Yiping's group of 3 finally disappeared into the horizon. After that, Lu Yiping's group of 3 met up with the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce and headed to the Nethersea. Other than Wan Zhen, the Horizon Commerce Chamber of Commerce also had Old Jiang and the 4 experts who were looking for the creation tree block in the Nethersea. When Lu Yiping's group of 9 were heading to the Nethersea, there was news from the Chaos Dimension that the Ghost Prison Overlord's cave abode had appeared in the Nethersea. The Ghost Prison Overlord was one of the few experts in the Northern Wilderness Starfield during the Middle Ages. When the news of his cave abode appeared in the world, it caused an uproar and countless experts rushed to the Nethersea. Even the Northern Wilderness Divine Prefecture's Hao Lianbi led his experts to the Nethersea. Not only Hao Lianbi, even the experts from the surrounding starfields rushed over. The closer they got to the Nethersea, the more experts they met. However, Lu Yiping did not care about it. He did not care about the appearance of the Ghost Prison Overlord's cave abode as long as they did not hinder him from looking for the creation tree block. However, there was another piece of news. The god of the underworld has said that from today onwards, no one is allowed to step into the Nethersea. Those who step into the Nethersea will die. Once the news was out, there was an uproar. Obviously, the god of the underworld wanted to monopolize the Ghost Prison Overlord's cave abode treasures. Chapter 283. When Wan Zhen, Elder Jiang, and the rest heard Ing Fei Li's words, their faces fell. No one in the Northern Wilderness Starfield dared to ignore Ing Fei Li's words. To the elites of the Northern Wilderness Starfield, the words of an 11 totem ancient god were like a mortal facing the imperial edict of a dynasty. Therefore, when Ing Fei Li's words came out, many of the elites who came to the Nether Sea stopped and thought of retreating. More than 100,000 years ago, there was once a super sect with 10 totem ancient gods that barged into the cultivation grounds of the god of underworld, Ing Fei Li. They destroyed the spirit herbs that the god of underworld used to refine pills. Ingfei then descended upon that sect and slaughtered all the ancestors and 100,000 disciples. Even the ancient god with 10 totem ancient gods were crushed to death by Ingfei. A few days later, Lu Yiping and the rest arrived at the Nether Sea. Even though Ingfei had said that those who entered the Nether Sea would die, there were still many super sects who took the risk to come. Therefore, when Lu Yiping and the rest entered the Nether Sea, they could still see many elites from the super sections. Humans die for wealth, birds die for food. Che Ziping sighed as he looked at the elites from the super sects who took the risk to come. As Ruanzhen was the Tianji Chamber of Commerce's president, there were many who knew Ruanzhen. Many of them greeted Ruanzhen and Elder Jiang. Lu Yiping and the rest went deeper into the Nether Sea, heading towards Ingfei's cultivation grounds. The Nether Sea was pitch black, and the entire sea was filled with yin qi. It was eerie, and it was eerily quiet. It gave people the feeling that they had entered the Sea of Hell. The sky darkened. The yin qi in the Nether Sea intensified, and the sea and sky were covered in a layer of black fog. It was difficult to see what was in front of them. The wind made a whimpering sound that sounded like the cries of ghosts. Lu Yiping was not in a hurry, so he and Taurus Longjiao stopped at a deserted island to rest for the night. When they arrived at the deserted island, the 4 ancient god elites from the Tianji Chamber of Commerce quickly built a bonfire and went to the nearby sea to hunt sea beasts and spiritual fish. Lu Yiping and the others sat around the bonfire. After taking out the Myriad Ages wine from the purple gold gourd, Lu Yiping generously gave a jug to the members of the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. Ruanzhen and Elder Jiang took a sip and were both shocked. As the president of the Horizon Commerce Association, Ruanzhen had drunk all kinds of good wine, but after taking a sip of the Myriad Ages wine, she realized that what she had drunk before was wax. After learning that Lu Yiping had personally brewed the wine using rare ingredients and nourished it with the purple gold chaos water, Ruanzhen and Elder Jiang couldn't bear to drink it. Soon, the aroma of meat filled the air. Che Ziping personally cut off 2 pieces with a knife and respectfully handed them to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Ruanzhen and Elder Jiang were inwardly shocked, and they saw how respectful Che Peng was to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Who was Che Peng? That was a peerless expert with 11 totem patterns. In the Battle of the Northern Barren Divine Manor, he had sent Wu Zhen, Chao Yun, God Destroyer, Copper God, Peerless Sword Monarch, and 100 other commanders with 9 totem patterns flying away with a single punch. Yet, such a peerless expert was acting like a slave in front of Lu Yiping and the Dragon Horn Golden Bull. Not only was he respectful to Lu Yiping like a servant, but he was also respectful to Long Judging like a servant. Just as Lu Yiping and the rest were sitting around the bonfire, a large group of experts flew over from the distant sky. There were a lot of them, about 70 to 80 people. These people were all ancient god realm elites, and they weren't ordinary ancient gods. Each of them had at least 5 totem ancient gods. Ruanzhen and Elder Jiang frowned when they saw who it was. These people were the experts from the Northern Wilderness Starfield's Boundless Chamber of Commerce. Leading them was the president of the Boundless Chamber of Commerce, Chen Fij. The Boundless Chamber of Commerce was the second largest chamber of commerce in the Northern Wilderness Starfield, second only to the Horizon Chamber of Commerce. The 2 chambers of commerce competed with each other, so their relationship wasn't good. Walking side by side with Chen Fij was an old man in a crimson battle robe. This old man was Feng Baiyu, ranked 12th on the Northern Wilderness Divine Ranking List, ahead of Elder Jiang. This Feng Baiyu was recruited by Chen Fij at a high price. When Chen Fij, Feng Baiyu, and the rest arrived, they saw Ruanzhen, Elder Jiang, and the rest from afar. They were surprised and stopped for a moment. After confirming that there were only a few people with Ruanzhen and Elder Jiang, they sneered and flew over with the Boundless Chamber of Commerce's experts. In the blink of an eye, Chen Fij, Feng Baiyu, and the rest arrived above the barren island and landed. Chen Fij walked towards Ruanzhen, laughing heartily, I was wondering who it was, so it's President Wan Zhen. How have you been, President Wan Zhen? You've always lived in seclusion, are you also here for the ghost prison Archdevil's cave dwellings treasures? He was smiling brightly. Wan Zhen looked at the smiling Chen Fiji and said, President Chen, haven't you always lived in seclusion? Aren't you also here for the ghost prison Archdevil's cave dwellings treasures? Chen Fiji laughed, that's right, the ghost prison Archdevil's cave dwellings treasures have appeared, who wouldn't be tempted? Light flickered in his eyes. The relationship between the Horizon Commerce Hall and the Boundless Chamber of Commerce was bad. He had been looking for a chance to kill Wan Zhen, but Wan Zhen rarely left the Horizon Commerce Hall, so he never had a chance. Now, there were only a few people with Wan Zhen, it was the best chance to kill Wan Zhen. Although Wan Zhen had Elder Jiang by his side, Feng Baiyu could completely suppress Elder Jiang. Just as Chen Fiji was filled with killing intent, an expert from the Boundless Chamber of Commerce suddenly stepped forward and said to Chen Fiji with a trembling voice, Lord President, that person seems to be Lord Lu. Lord Lu. Chen Fiji and Feng Baiyu did not react in time. When they realized who the Lord Lu was, Chen Fiji, Feng Baiyu, and the rest shuddered, looking at the blue-robed young man sitting beside Wan Zhen. Lord Lu. Lu Yiping. Then, the scholarly middle-aged man who was cutting the meat and respectfully handing it to Lu Yiping was the 11 totem Che Peng. Chen Fiji bowed and said with difficulty, May I ask, are you Lord Lu? Under the light of the bonfire, Lu Yiping's face shone brighter. I am Lu Yiping, is there something you need? Lu Yiping said calmly. Chen Fiji's legs trembled, feeling a chill run down his spine. He quickly lowered his head and cupped his fists, Boundless Chamber of Commerce's Chen Fiji greets Lord Lu. We didn't know Lord Lu was here and disturbed Lord Lu just now, please forgive us. Feng Baiyu and the Boundless Chamber of Commerce's experts also bowed respectfully in fear. Lu Yiping glanced at Chen Fiji, this glance made Chen Fiji feel like his soul was about to leave his body. Is there anything else? Lu Yiping asked. Chen Fiji was startled, then shook his head in panic, saying it was nothing. He and the Boundless Chamber of Commerce's people bowed respectfully and left as if they were escaping. Lu Yiping and the rest continued to drink and barbecue. Chen Fiji's group only stopped after they were quite a distance away. Their backs were drenched in cold sweat. I didn't expect Lord Lu to come too. Feng Baiyu's complexion recovered a little, but his heart was still beating wildly. Chen Fiji's eyes flickered, this might not be a bad thing. After a pause, he said, when Lu Yiping and Ing Fei Li fight for the treasures in Ghost Prison Demon Venerable's abode, both sides will be injured, it will be our chance. Chapter 284. Chen Fiji continued, Ing Fei Li already had 11 totems more than 100,000 years ago. Lu Yiping and Che Peng are no match for Ing Fei Li in a one-on-one fight. But if Lu Yiping and Che Peng work together, they might be able to stop Ing Fei Li. I heard that the people from Flying Rainbow Divine Estate are here too. Feng Baiyu said. The Flying Rainbow Starfield was right next to the Northern Wilderness Starfield. However, the Flying Rainbow Celestial Mansion was much more powerful than the Northern Wilderness Celestial Mansion. The Flying Rainbow Celestial Mansion alone had 5 of the 10 great totems ancient gods. Flying Rainbow Divine Estate Master had an ancient treasure that allowed him to escape from the attack of an 11 totems ancient god. Chen Fiji pondered and said, we'll act according to the situation. I found out that Ghost Prison Overlord's cave abode is near Ing Fei Li's current cultivation ground. Ing Fei Li seems to have predicted that Ghost Prison Overlord's cave abode will appear, so he chose to cultivate in the depths of the Netherworld Sea. Then, he led the Boundless Chamber of Commerce's experts and left, disappearing into the thick black fog. The night passed. The black fog above the sea gradually dispersed. The Netherworld Sea began to brighten. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao continued their journey. Half a day later. Wan Zhen pointed at an island in front and said, Sir, our experts found the tree block on that island. Lu Yiping and the rest increased their speed, and soon, they arrived above the island. This island was extremely large, like a continent. The ancient trees on it were so tall that they reached the sky, and there were mountain peaks. At a glance, it was lush and green. Due to the influence of the Netherworld Sea's Yin Qi, most of the islands in the Netherworld Sea were deserted. However, the island in front of them was full of vitality, as if it was spring all year round. Once they arrived above the island, the creation tree's light vibrated. Obviously, there were many creation tree blocks on this island. Now, the creation tree had grown to more than 2,400 meters tall, and its sensing range had expanded to more than 200 miles. As long as there were creation tree blocks within 200 miles, it could sense them. Lu Yiping was delighted when he sensed the vibrations of the tree. Judging from the vibrations of the tree, there must be a lot of tree chunks ahead. Lu Yiping took a step forward, arriving in front of the mountainous region. Pressing his palm down, the island below split open, revealing a terrifying gigantic rift valley. Ruanzhen, Old Jiang, and the others were shocked. The group looked over and saw that at the bottom of the rift valley were the Jianshu tree blocks. There were more than a dozen of them, and the bigger ones were 30 to 40 meters tall, as big as a small mountain. Lu Yiping flicked his finger, and the dozen or so tree building blocks flew up. Lu Yiping stored them all into the tree building space, allowing the tree building blocks to fuse automatically. They continued to fly forward. Not long after, Lu Yiping found a few more Jianshu tree blocks at the bottom of a valley. Moreover, every piece of the building tree was more than 10 meters tall. Lu Yiping stored them all into the tree building space, allowing the tree building blocks to fuse with each other. Ruanzhen, Old Jiang, and the others watched as Lu Yiping found the Jianshu tree building blocks like he was performing a magic trick. Could it be that Lu Yiping could sense if there were any Jianshu tree building blocks nearby? An hour later, Lu Yiping found more than a dozen Jianshu tree building blocks. The number of Jianshu tree building blocks on this island far exceeded Lu Yiping's imagination. As the Jianshu tree continued to fuse with these Jianshu tree building blocks, it continued to grow. In a little over an hour, it had grown to more than 3,100 meters tall. Half a day later, Lu Yiping finished touring the entire island, and the Jianshu tree had grown to more than 4,500 meters. However, the Jianshu tree needed to grow to 4,800 meters before the fifth stage of the immortal skywood technique would appear. Thus, it was still 300 meters away. Ruanzhen, Old Jiang, and the others were sweating profusely as they looked at the numerous cracks on the island. It wasn't hard to imagine that this mainland-sized island would crumble completely in no time. Ingfei's place of cultivation is just up ahead, isn't it? Lu Yiping finished his tour of the island and looked at the sea ahead. Ruanzhen swallowed hard and said, "Yes, a few thousand miles ahead is Lord Nether God's cultivation ground." Then, he added, "Since that incident hundreds of thousands of years ago, the area around Lord Nether God's cultivation ground has become a forbidden area. No one dares to come close." Suddenly, the surrounding sea shook violently. Rays of light shot out from the bottom of the Nether Sea, and waves of powerful array energy rippled out. Following that, the sea churned violently, creating waves as if something huge was about to break out from the bottom of the sea. Ruanzhen and Old Jiang were shocked. Then, Ruanzhen and the others saw countless black dots flying towards them from the distant horizon. "It's the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace." The newcomers were the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace's experts, and the one leading them was none other than the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace Lord, Haolianbi. Behind Haolianbi were 4 experts in grayish-black divine armor and 10,000 soldiers. These 10,000 soldiers were all wearing black dragon armor. "It's the Black Dragon Army." Ruanzhen, Old Jiang, and the rest recognized the 10,000 soldiers in black dragon armor. The Black Dragon Army was the strongest army in the Northern Wilderness Divine Prefecture. Although there were only 10,000 of them, the 10,000 Black Dragon army was enough to wipe out all the super sects in the northern wilderness starfield. However, Huan Zhen and Old Jiang did not recognize the 4 experts in grayish-black divine armor behind Hao Lianbi. Following that, several groups of black dots flew towards them from behind the northern wilderness divine palace. One of them was Chen Fij and the others from the boundless chamber of commerce. However, Huan Zhen and Elder Jiang both turned to look at a group of experts wearing colorful battle armor. Flying Rainbow Divine Palace. The one leading them was the Flying Rainbow Divine Palace's lord, Chu Feihong. Behind Chu Feihong was a group of experts from the Flying Rainbow Divine Palace. Other than the Northern Wilderness Divine Palace, the Boundless Chamber of Commerce, the Flying Rainbow Divine Palace, the Nine Fox Tribe, the Carefree Divine Sect, and other super sections. There were about 40 to 50 super sects that had arrived. However, no one dared to enter Feili's cultivation grounds. All of them stopped in the air above the surrounding sea. As everyone arrived, a part of the sea near the underworld god Feili's place of cultivation exploded, and an enormous and magnificent palace slowly flew out. The Ghost Prison Overlord's cultivation grounds. However, this golden palace did not have a trace of ghost chi or demonic chi. Instead, it exuded a peaceful divine energy. Seeing the appearance of the Ghost Prison Overlord's cultivation grounds, everyone's eyes were burning with desire. Just as someone was about to step forward, a figure suddenly shot up from the distant island and appeared above the palace in the blink of an eye. This figure was wearing a white robe. He had silver hair and fair skin. He was a young man with a black seal between his brows. Seeing this figure, many experts who were about to step forward retreated in fear. Lord Nether God. Nether God Feili laughed when he saw the palace. It is indeed the Ghost Prison Overlord's cultivation grounds. My years of waiting were not in vain. He suddenly stretched out his hand, and a giant claw pierced through the air. In an instant, hundreds of carefree divine sex experts were sent flying. Blood splattered everywhere. The Carefree Divine Sect was ranked 5th in the Chaos Plane, ranked higher than the Blue Thunder Divine Sect. However, the hundreds of Carefree Divine Sex experts, including the ancestors and patriarchs, did not manage to escape. Feili did not even use his totem, it was just a casual attack. Everyone's expression changed. After killing hundreds of Carefree Divine Sex experts, Feili swept his gaze over the surrounding experts and sneered, I said, those who enter the Netherworld Sea will die. It seems like none of you took my words to heart. In that case, all of you can go to hell. Divine flames burst out from Huang Xiaolong's body, and with a wave of his hand, the giant claws flew out again. This time, there were several hundred of them, and they flew towards the Northern Wasteland Divine Manor, Soaring Rainbow Divine Manor, Nine Fox Tribe, and even Lu Yiping, Dragon Horn Golden Bull, and the others. Chapter 285. Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, Hu Fei, Chen Fij, and the others were terrified when they saw the Nether God's several hundred giant claws coming at them. Retreat! Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, Hu Fei, Chen Fij, and the rest roared in panic. At the same time, they activated their totems and retreated with all their might. As Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, Hu Fei, and Chen Fij activated their totems, the totems flew out one after another, emitting dazzling light that lit up the entire Nethersea. Northern Desolation Divine Fist. Hao Lianbi punched out with both fists. Flying Rainbow. Chu Feihong's twin blades slashed out. Light of the Nine Foxes. Boundless Emptiness. Hu Fei, Chen Fij, and the rest launched their strongest attack in history. The 4 experts in grayish-black divine armor behind Hao Lianbi activated their totems. They were the ancient gods of the 10 great totems. The 4 of them attacked at the same time. When the army of 10,000 black dragons attacked together, the sky was filled with black dragons. The Flying Rainbow Celestial Manor's experts behind Chu Feihong also attacked. Streaks of rainbow streaked across the sky, crossing the Nethersea. The Nine Foxes race, boundless chamber of commerce, and other super forces experts attacked with enough power to tear a hole through a continent, meeting the nether god Invincible's 400 claws head-on. Sky-shaking explosions reverberated in the air. The netherworld sea surged with thousands of towering waves. Lu Yiping and the rest watched the nether god's claws coming at them, but they did not move. Indifferent to Lu Yiping's group, Invincible smiled indifferently at the sight of the nether god's claws coming at them. Seeing the nether god's claws coming at Lu Yiping's group, Wan Zhen and Elder Jiang were about to retreat in fear when the nether god's claws stopped right in front of Lu Yiping. Without any warning. At this time, blood rained down from the sky. The Flying Fox race, boundless chamber of commerce, and other super forces experts were sent flying by the nether god's claws. Those below the 9 great totems exploded in the blink of an eye. The 9 great totems' divine armors shattered, and they were vomiting blood. Hao Lianbi, Nia Feihong, Hu Fei, Hu Tao, and the rest of the 10 great totems also had blood flowing out of their mouths. Tens of thousands of experts were still unable to block Invincible's powerful attack. Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, Hu Fei, Hu Tao, Chen Fij, and the others stared at Invincible in fear. Just as Hao Lianbi, Qian Feihong, and the others were sent flying by the nether god's giant claw, Lu Yiping raised his hand and pointed forward. Without any energy fluctuations, the nether god's giant claw in front of him shattered and dissipated. Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, and the others, who had been watching Invincible in fear, were dumbfounded by this scene. The nether god's giant claw, which had blasted them so hard that they couldn't even remember who their parents were, was broken by Lu Yiping just like that. Just like that. No one dared to believe it. This included Wan Zhen and Elder Jiang, who were standing behind Lu Yiping. Even if Lu Yiping had 11 totems, it was impossible for him to shatter the nether god's giant claw so easily. That was the nether god's giant claw, Invincible's ultimate skill to intimidate the northern wilderness starfield. It was not some random skill. Invincible also saw Lu Yiping shatter his nether god's giant claw, and he too was shocked. He looked at Lu Yiping in shock and disbelief. "Who are you?" "Lu Yiping." Lu Yiping said calmly. "Lu Yiping." Invincible was confused. He had been living in seclusion in the depths of the Nether Sea, so he had not heard anything about Lu Yiping. He stared at Lu Yiping. Although that nether god's giant claw was just one of the hundreds he had sent out, the fact that this blue-robed young man could shatter his nether god's giant claw meant that he was an ancient god with 11 totems. Since when did the northern wilderness starfield have an ancient god with 11 totems? Did he just break through? However, after knowing that Lu Yiping was an ancient god with 11 totems, he did not take it to heart. There were strong and weak ancient gods with 10 totems, and there were weak and strong ancient gods with 11 totems as well. He was now at the peak of the late stage of 11 totems, so he was no ordinary ancient god with 11 totems. Moreover, each of his totems was as long as 110 miles. His combat power was far stronger than those ancient gods with 11 totems that were tens of miles long. Invincible looked at Lu Yiping and said, "I didn't expect another ancient god with 11 totems to appear in the northern wilderness starfield. I can let you go." He then looked at Taurus Longjiao, Che Chipeng, and the rest who were standing behind Lu Yiping. "But your subordinates cannot leave. They must all die." Invincible's cold voice rang through the Nether Sea. Taurus Longjiao snorted and looked at Invincible. "I say, where did this idiot come from?" Hao Lianbi, Che Feihong, Chen Fij, Wan Zhen, and the rest were stunned. Idiot? Was Invincible the god of the underworld an idiot? Invincible was shocked as well. He had never thought that someone would call him an idiot. He looked at Taurus Longjiao, his killing intent unprecedented. He laughed in anger. "Did you just call me an idiot?" Taurus Longjiao laughed. "What? You're not happy with the term idiot?" Underworld god Invincible's eyes glinted with a cold light as he slammed his claw towards Long Jiao's golden claw. even if your master is an 11th totem beast, you will die today. Do you think your master can protect you? A terrifying giant claw of the god of the underworld flew out. This nether god's giant claw was much larger than any of the previous nether god's giant claw. It was several hundred times larger than the nether god's giant claw that was aimed at Liu Yiping. And its power was also a few hundred times bigger than the one that attacked Liu Yiping. Although Ing Fei Li did not use his 11 totems, this attack was more than enough to send an ordinary 11 totems flying. The super god of the underworld claw was like a black sun, reaching Liu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao in the blink of an eye. This attack was the strongest power he could muster without using the 11 totems. Die! Ing Fei Li bellowed. Looking at the nether god Ing Fei Li's claw that was even bigger than the previous one, Wan Zhen and Elder Jiang paled. Just when everyone thought Liu Yiping was going to make a move, a palm reached out and pressed down. A giant palm imprint met the nether god Ing Fei Li's claw that was several hundred times bigger. Boom! The giant palm imprint collided with the god of the underworld claw. The god of the underworld claw shattered into pieces. The giant palm imprint pierced through the shattered god of the underworld claw, heading straight for Ing Fei Li. Ing Fei Li was stunned, but he quickly countered with a palm imprint that collided with the giant palm imprint. Even so, Ing Fei Li was still sent tumbling several hundred miles away. When he finally came to a stop, Ing Fei Li felt the blood in his chest rising. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood, dyeing a small part of the nether sea red. What? Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, Chen Fij, and the others exclaimed in shock. Everyone turned to look at the scholarly Che Peng standing behind Liu Yiping with shock written all over their faces. It was Che Peng who attacked just now. Ing Fei Li stared at Che Peng with disbelief, then he touched the blood on the corner of his mouth. Did he just vomit blood? Chapter 286. Who are you? Ing Fei Li glared at Che Peng. Another F** King 11 totem. And this scholarly middle-aged man seemed to be even more powerful than the young man in blue. Since when did Northern Wilderness Starfield have 2 more 11 totem beasts? Che Peng. Che Zipping answered. Ing Fei Li's eyes flashed with black light as he shot into the air. I didn't expect Northern Wilderness Starfield to have 2 more 11 totem beasts. Very well, I haven't used my full strength for many years. All of you, come at me together. With that, his aura surged. He no longer suppressed his energy and released it all. Suddenly, heaven and earth shook. Gusts of terrifying hurricanes formed around his body. Black icicles shot up into the sky, piercing through the firmament. The 90-meter thick heavenly world law shone brightly. As the heavenly world law wrapped around him, giant totem beasts shot up into the sky. Each totem was 110 miles long. When all 11 totems flew out, the sky above the netherworld sea changed color. Waves rose and fell and the islands in the distance swayed. Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, Hu Fei, Chen Fij, and the rest fled as far as they could when they saw Ing Fei Li using the power of the 11 totem beasts. Ing Fei Li had not even used his totems earlier and his power was already so terrifying. Now that he had used all his totems, one could only imagine how terrifying his power would be. As the power of Ing Fei Li's 11 totems swept across the sea, one after another, the sea was stirred up. Yin Yang double kill fist. Ing Fei Li pushed the power of the 11 totem beasts to the maximum and punched both his fists at Liu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Peng. One Yin and one Yang fist print blasted open the void at an unbelievable speed towards Liu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Peng. Wherever the fist print passed, the water in the netherworld sea was plowed away. One could even see the bottom of the netherworld sea. The fist waves surged, covering the sky and the sun. It was unknown how many miles in diameter it was. Wan Zhen and Old Jiang felt as tiny as ants in the face of this sky-covering fist wave. No, they couldn't even be compared to ants. In front of this heaven-shaking power, they felt as weak as dust. As Ing Fei made his move, Che Chipping stopped hiding his aura. He called upon all the power he could muster. The 100-meter-thick God World's laws swirled around him, and all of his totems flew out. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11. When the 11th Peng totem flew out, everyone thought that it was over. But suddenly, another incomparably resplendent totem flew out, as if plated with primal chaos gold. This totem was so dazzling to the eye, so bright that it radiated a vast amount of energy. It was as though all the energy in the world had gathered within it. Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, Ruan Zhen, Elder Jiang, and the others had never seen such a large, powerful, and resplendent totem before. In fact, this totem was as big as the previous 11 totems. Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, and the others turned pale with fright. 12 totems. The ancient gods of the 12 totems have reappeared in the world. Chen Fij of the Boundless Chamber of Commerce was so shocked that his heart almost exploded. In the Nether Sea, all the experts who came for the Ghost Prison Archdevil's cave dwelling were shocked beyond words. Even Ing Fei, who had 11 totems, was dumbfounded. Disbelief was written all over his face. Ever since the ancient times, there had never been an ancient god with 12 totems in the northern wilderness starfield. Now, the appearance of the 12 totems shook the entire northern wilderness. Che Chipping punched out. Just one punch. The sky was filled with starlight. Above the netherworld sea, which was originally dark, appeared a vast galaxy. Stars appeared above the netherworld sea. Heaven and earth transformation, this is the real heaven and earth transformation. Chu Feihong muttered to himself. When a person's strength reached a certain level, he could change the appearance of heaven and earth. The vast galaxy above the nether sea was not an illusion, but a real galaxy, a real star. An unimaginably large fist imprint covered in starry flames blasted away Ing Fei's yin-yang double-kill fist. Then, with an even more terrifying and unbelievable speed, it landed right in front of Ing Fei. Looking at the unimaginably large fist imprint covered in starry flames, and feeling the terrifying power within it, Ing Fei felt for the first time what it meant to be an ant. In his fear, he opened up all the divine armor on his body, and one divine shield after another flew out, trying to block Che Chipping's fist imprint. But it was useless. These divine shields that he had obtained from the Middle Ages were like dust in front of Che Chipping's fist imprint. He did not have time to think, and ran for his life. He had never been so fast before. But just as he turned around, Che Chipping's fist imprint drowned him. First, it hit his buttocks, because that was the most prominent part of his body. Then, it hit his entire body. Ing Fei did not even have time to scream before he was completely swallowed by the fist imprint. The fist imprint continued to move forward. The galaxy above the nether sea continued to move forward until it reached the end. The water in the nether sea was swept away by the fist imprint. The ground was white, and many fishes were still swimming underground. After swimming for a while, they realized that the water was gone. The fist imprint finally stopped at the end of the nether sea. Hao Lianbi, Chu Feihong, and the rest tried their best to see if there were any pieces of Ing Fei's body at the end of the sea. But there were no pieces, not even a strand of hair. Everyone's mouths were dry. Everyone knew that Ing Fei did not escape, but that there was nothing left of him. An ancient god with 11 totems had died an unnatural death, ending his life as the ruler of the nether sea. The god of the underworld, Ing Fei, who dominated the northern wilderness starfield, surpassed the northern wilderness divine role, and was above all the gods, was dead. Chen Fij, who had thought that Lu Yiping, Che Ziping, and Ing Fei would fight to the death while looking for a chance to snatch the Ghost Prison Archdevil's cave abode, felt his soul freezing. Everyone was shocked, and they looked at Che Chipping in fear. Taurus Longjiao said, "Your fist was still too weak, and you did not control it well." Still too weak. Not good at controlling it well. Everyone looked at Taurus Longjiao, and they almost choked on the water of the nether sea. A fist that killed an ancient god with 11 totems was weak. Ing Fei did not even have the chance to escape, and he did not control it well. Che Chipping quickly said respectfully, "Yes, Lord Xiao Jin is right. Zipping will cultivate hard and increase my strength." Everyone was speechless. Hao Lianbi, however, recalled the scene in the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion, and he felt a chill run down his spine. Earlier, he was still thinking about whether he should use the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion's resources to fight Lu Yiping and Che Chipping. Now, he was glad that he did not act rashly. Indeed, impulse was the devil. At this time, Taurus Longjiao looked at Hao Lianbi. While Hao Lianbi was panicking, Taurus Longjiao said, "Principal Hao Lianbi, what a coincidence. Are you also here to look for a tree block?" Looking for a tree block. Hao Lianbi immediately remembered that Lu Yiping had asked Wan Zhen to look for a tree block. He smiled and said, "No, Lord Xiao Jin, we are here to enjoy the scenery." Chapter 287. Flying Rainbow Mansion Master Chu Feihong also hurriedly said, "We are also here to enjoy the scenery. We are all here to enjoy the scenery." The other experts also expressed that they were here to enjoy the scenery. Taurus Longjiao looked at the Netherworld Sea that had been plowed and said, "The Netherworld Sea's scenery is indeed not bad." Lu Yiping took a step and arrived in front of the ghost prison demon Venerable's abode that had already risen into the sky. He then pushed open the abode's door and walked in. Taurus Longjiao, Che Peng, Wan Zhen, and Elder Jiang ignored Hao Lianbi and the others and flew into the abode. Hao Lianbi's expression was gloomy and he finally said, "Let's go." Then, he brought everyone and flew away. Now, no matter what, he did not dare to follow Lu Yiping and the others into the ghost prison demon Venerable's abode to enjoy the scenery. Seeing this, Che Feihong also reluctantly brought the Flying Rainbow Mansion's experts and flew away. Everyone left one after another, leaving no one behind. The ghost prison demon Venerable's abode was very big and the space inside was like a different world. There were mountains, rivers, flowers, trees, and grass, but what shocked everyone was that there was not a trace of ghost chi or demonic chi in the space. Logically speaking, the ghost prison demon Venerable cultivated an evil demonic art and his abode space should not be like this. Lu Yiping brought everyone to the main hall. The main hall was very big and the 4 stone pillars in the main hall were engraved with various demonic runes. In addition, there was a saber beside the throne in the main hall. The saber was not unsheathed, but even so, everyone could feel the extremely sharp saber chi. Lu Yiping used one hand and a suction force pulled the saber into his hand. The saber scabbard was completely black and emitted an ink-black luster. Not bad. Taurus Longjiao glanced at the saber and said, "Unfortunately, it has not reached the level of Xiantian." Although the saber was not bad, it was only an acquired cardinal treasure. Above supreme-grade divine artifacts were acquired spirit treasures. Acquired spirit treasures were divided into middle, high, and supreme grade. Above supreme grade acquired spirit treasures were acquired cardinal treasures. Lu Yiping threw the saber to Che Peng. "Thank you for the saber, Your Excellency." Che Zipping bowed and thanked him. Lu Yiping and the others passed through the front hall. What appeared in front of them was a huge mountain. The mountain was made of a rare type of divine stone. It was multicolored and surged with radiance. Lu Yiping didn't collect it either, allowing Horizon's guild leader, Wan Zhen, to collect it. The reason why he was able to find so many building tree blocks was because of the other party. This divine mountain made of all kinds of divine stones was priceless. When Wan Zhen received it, she was extremely excited. Lu Yiping's group continued walking deeper into the cave. Along the way, they came across many spiritual herbs and divine trees. Lu Yiping and the rest collected them. Some were collected by Lu Yiping, some were collected by Che Peng, and some were collected by Wan Zhen, Elder Jiang, and the rest. The Ghost Prison Overlord was one of the few elites in the northern wilderness starfield during the Middle Ages. There were many good things in his cave abode. Inside the cave, there were layers upon layers of restrictions, but they were nothing to Liu Yiping. In the end, Liu Yiping's group arrived at the deepest part of the cave abode. The deepest part of the cave abode was the Ghost Prison Overlord's secret chamber. Inside the secret chamber, there was a painting. In the painting, there was only a vast ocean. The Netherworld Sea. Che Ziping said. The ocean in the painting was drawn with the Netherworld Sea as the model. Old Man Nirvana. Taurus Longjiao looked at the name on the bottom right corner of the painting. Wan Zhen and Elder Jiang were shocked. Old Man Nirvana. Old Man Nirvana was an elite from the same era as the Master of Myriad Gods. He was known as the painting deity. His paintings were priceless. The gold here wasn't ordinary gold, but primal chaos gold. In the past, there was an elite who offered 10,000 gene of primal chaos gold in exchange for an authentic painting of Old Man Nirvana, but was rejected by him. Taurus Longjiao said, I didn't expect to see an authentic painting of Old Man Nirvana here. Old Man Nirvana? Wan Wuxiang and Elder Jiang were stunned. Liu Yiping looked at the painting in front of him silently. After looking at it for a long time, he put it away. Then, everyone returned the way they came and left the Ghost Prison Overlord's cave abode. Liu Yiping pointed casually and the Ghost Prison Overlord's cave abode disappeared into the void. Next, Liu Yiping's group arrived at Underworld God Ing Feili's cultivation island. Sure enough, nearing Feili's cultivation grounds, Liu Yiping found many more Jianshu tree chunks. A day later, the Jianshu tree finally grew to more than 4,800 meters tall. The fifth level of the immortal heavenly wood art appeared. After confirming that there were no tree blocks in the surroundings, Liu Yiping stopped searching and got Che Ziping to move away the treasures in Ing Feili's cave abode. Finally, everyone left the Netherworld Sea. When Liu Yiping's group passed by some cities, they found that almost all the streets and alleys were discussing the matter of Che Ziping killing Underworld God Ing Feili. Taurus Longjiao smiled at Che Ziping, Kid, your fame is greater than mine now. Che Ziping was embarrassed and said, with this junior's strength, how could I dare to be mentioned in the same breath as Senior Xiao Jin? Wan Zhen and Elder Jiang heard this and were curious. Was Taurus Longjiao really stronger than Che Ziping? My lord, the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's branch is just ahead. Why don't you follow me in and rest for a while? Wan Zhen said. Liu Yiping thought about it and nodded. Then, everyone entered the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's branch. Wan Zhen personally arranged a palace for Liu Yiping's group. Inside the palace, Liu Yiping sat cross-legged under the tree and comprehended the fifth level of the immortal heavenly wood art. Now, the tree had grown to over 4,800 meters. The chaos energy was much denser than before and between the leaves, there were specks of golden light. Now, the tree had grown to over 4,800 meters. Liu Yiping sat cross-legged under the tree like a small dot. After comprehending the fifth level of the immortal heavenly wood art, Liu Yiping took out the Mount Buzhou and watered the seven-colored gourd with the spring of life. After the first purple gourd matured, a second small gourd grew from the seven-colored gourd. The second small gourd was purplish-red in color, but it was only the size of a thumb and still needed a long time to mature. Several months passed in this manner. In these several months, Liu Yiping cultivated the immortal heavenly wood art, the longevity secret art, and the fortune jade disc inside the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's palace. Occasionally, he would take out the immemorial heavenly court steel to look at. On this day, while Liu Yiping was cultivating, the grand formation he had arranged in the desolate dragon burial desert shook. Previously, he had destroyed the purple extreme demon race's branch in the desolate dragon burial desert and set up a grand formation, waiting for the purple extreme demon race's experts to come. There had been no movement these days. Now, the grand formation finally reacted. Immediately, Lu Yiping tore the void and stepped into the sky above the desolate dragon burial desert. In the underground city of the purple extreme demon race's former branch, there were 10 more black-clothed people. What terrifying power! One of the black-clothed people said in a low voice, "Who on earth destroyed our purple extreme demon race's experts?" As soon as he finished speaking, he saw a blue-robed young man walking over. The purple extreme demon race's expert was startled. When did this blue-robed young man appear? He actually did not notice. Chapter 288. Who are you? The leader of the purple extreme demon clan asked in a low voice. His aura locked onto Lu Yiping, and the other 9 also sealed the space around Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping was too lazy to speak. Sword light flashed around his body, and endless sword chi shot out. The 10 purple extreme demon clan experts were all sent flying by the sword chi. The other 9 were killed by the sword chi, leaving only the leader of the purple extreme demon clan alive. Lu Yiping walked up to the leader of the purple extreme demon clan. He pulled the dying purple extreme demon clan leader in front of him and read his memories. Then, Lu Yiping clenched his fist and crushed the purple extreme demon clan leader. Eternal Starfield. Lu Yiping muttered. The other party was from Eternal Starfield. Now, Lu Yiping was in the divine world. However, the divine world was divided into upper and lower realms. For example, Northern Wilderness Starfield and Soaring Rainbow Starfield were among the lower realms of the divine world. In the lower realms of the divine world, the galaxy was boundless. No one knew how many starfields there were. Since the divine world was formed, no one had ever reached the end of the lower realms. Someone once calculated that there were hundreds of thousands of known starfields in the lower realms of the divine world. This was only a rough estimate. There were still many unknown starfields and unknown planes. One could imagine how big the lower realms were. No one knew how many starfields there were in the lower realms of the divine world. However, many experts unanimously agreed that Eternal Starfield was the strongest starfield in the lower realms of the divine world. Eternal Starfield was the strongest. There was no other. At the same time, the ancient star area was also designated as the center of the lower world. It was also the most prosperous star area in the lower world. It was also the richest star area in the lower world. It was also the star area with the most treasures of heaven and earth. It was also the star area with the most experts. Eternal Starfield was a gathering place for experts from all the starfields in the lower realms. In Northern Wilderness Starfield, there were only a dozen or so ancient gods with 10 totems. However, in Eternal Starfield, it was not rare to see ancient gods with 10 totems. In the Eternal Starfield, the ancient god with 10 totems was equivalent to the ancient god with 8 totems in the Northern Wilderness Starfield. Lu Yiping learned from the memories of the Purple Extreme Devil Clan's leader that the Purple Extreme Devil Clan's headquarters in the lower realm was in the Eternal Star domain. There were millions of Purple Extreme Devil Clan experts there. Furthermore, there were many tree-building blocks sent over from various starfields. Although Lu Yiping didn't know how many there were, it was definitely a lot. It could be 1,000 times, or even 10,000 times, more than what Lu Yiping had collected. Or even more. Lu Yiping tore through the void and returned to the Horizon Chamber of Commerce's branch. Go to the Eternal Star Zone. Taurus Longjiao was surprised. Lu Yiping nodded and told him about the Purple Extreme Devils. Then he called Che Ping over and told him to make some preparations before heading to the Domain of Eternity. An hour later, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Ping left the Horizon Chamber of Commerce and entered the vast galaxy. They then took out the Black Dragon flying ship and sped towards the Domain of Eternity. Lu Yiping switched to an innate spiritual meridian. With the help of the innate spiritual meridian, the Black Dragon flying ship's speed increased greatly. The Northern Wilderness Starfield was not too far from the Eternal Star Zone. From the Northern Wilderness Starfield to the Domain of Eternity, one only needed to cross a few dozen starfields. With the help of the innate spiritual meridian, the Black Dragon flying ship could reach the domain of eternity in half a month at most. In the vast galaxy, the Black Dragon flying ship was like a black dragon light, blasting through the galactic storms in front of it. It traveled thousands of miles in the blink of an eye. With the Black Dragon flying ship's incredible speed, one realm after another was left behind. In just a few hours, the Black Dragon flying ship had left the domain of eternity and entered the soaring rainbow starfield. Half a day later, the Black Dragon flying ship had crossed the soaring rainbow starfield. Che Ping stood at the bow of the Black Dragon flying ship, feeling the passing of time around him. He could not help but marvel at the Black Dragon flying ship's terrifying speed. In the past, he had ridden the Big Dipper flying ship of the Big Dipper Palace. Compared to the Black Dragon flying ship, it was not just a little bit inferior. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were cultivating in the palace of the Black Dragon flying ship. With the growth of the Tree of Creation, Lu Yiping's cultivation speed of the Immortal Skywood technique had increased greatly. Now, he had cultivated the first level of the Immortal Skywood technique to the Greater Completion realm. With the improvement of the Immortal Skywood technique, his physical body had become stronger as well. Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the Tree of Creation, the chi of the Great Tao rolling around him. An immortal and eternal aura filled the air. With the improvement of the Immortal Skywood technique, Lu Yiping's connection with the Tree of Creation became closer. Now, he could use the Tree of Creation to attack. Although the Tree of Creation had not fully grown, if he used the Tree of Creation, which was more than 4,000 meters long, to attack, the power would be extremely terrifying. If he could get the Tree of Creation from the Purple Extreme Demon Tribe's treasure vault in the domain of eternity, his Tree of Creation would grow to 100,000 meters long. At that time, it would truly be a towering tree. At that time, its power would be truly unparalleled. Unfortunately, from the memories of the leader of the Purple Extreme Demon Tribe, he only knew that the Purple Extreme Demon Tribe's headquarters in the domain of eternity. He did not know which realm it was in. The Northern Wilderness Starfield had more than 3,000 realms. As the most powerful and prosperous starfield in the domain of eternity, there were more than 40,000 realms in total. Therefore, even if he knew that the Purple Extreme Demon Tribe's headquarters in the domain of eternity, it would still be difficult to find them. Of course, Lu Yiping was not in a hurry. He had all the time in the world. As the Black Dragon flying ship got closer to the domain of eternity, it became more and more crowded. The number of flying ships they encountered gradually increased. The Black Dragon flying ship's astonishing speed shocked many experts on the flying ships. When some of the experts on the flying ships wanted to see the Black Dragon flying ship clearly, the Black Dragon flying ship instantly flew thousands of miles away and disappeared into the vast galaxy in the blink of an eye. Is that a primordial spiritual treasure? It must be a primordial spiritual treasure. Some experts were extremely shocked. Even in the domain of eternity, it was rare to see a primordial spiritual treasure flying ship, let alone a primordial spiritual treasure. A huge merchant ship was flying toward the domain of eternity when it suddenly saw the Black Dragon flying ship tearing through space. An old man who was standing on the bow of the merchant ship with his hands clasped behind his back was shocked when he saw the Black Dragon flying ship tearing through space. His eyes narrowed. Then, the Black Dragon flying ship flew past the merchant ship and disappeared at the end of the galaxy. Find out which ancient family that flying ship belongs to. The old man ordered his subordinates in shock. His subordinates smiled bitterly. They only saw the shadow of the flying ship and did not even know what it looked like. How could they find out? President, that flying ship is too fast. We can't see it clearly, one of them said hesitantly. The old man was the president of the largest merchant firm in the domain of eternity, the Red Flame merchant firm, Wan Litong. Wan Litong looked in the direction of the Black Dragon flying ship and asked, "Is that the Black Dragon flying ship?" However, he was not sure because the flying ship was too fast. Even he could not see it clearly. He only saw the shadow of a black dragon on the body of the flying ship. Chapter 289. Black Dragon Flying Ship. The experts of the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce were puzzled. Could it be a flying ship of the Black Dragon race? President, do we still need to investigate that flying ship? An expert of the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce asked respectfully. Wan Litong shook his head. Forget it. I must have seen wrongly. How could the Black Dragon flying ship appear in the world again? He then added, this batch of goods belongs to the Ionic God Manor. Everyone, keep your eyes peeled. Don't make any mistakes on the way. There were many flying ships traveling between planes, but there were also galactic bandits. The vice president of the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce smiled. With the president personally overseeing the situation, I don't think those bandits will dare to do anything to us. Wan Litong shook his head. That's not necessarily true. Those lunatics from the Blood Moon dare to do anything, regardless of who you are. So, everyone should be careful. The Blood Moon was a group of galactic bandits that roamed the dozens of starfields. They had hundreds of thousands of members and were terrifyingly strong. They even dared to rob the flying ships of the various super chambers of commerce. Even the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce, the #1 chamber of commerce in the Ionic star field, had been robbed by the Blood Moon before. At this time, on the Black Dragon flying ship, Che Peng reported to Lu Yiping, Lord, we will enter the Ionic star field in 2 days. Lu Yiping stood at the bow of the Black Dragon flying ship. Seeing the number of flying ships increasing, he did not want to be too shocking and slowed down the speed of the Black Dragon flying ship. However, not long after Lu Yiping slowed down the Black Dragon flying ship, hundreds of flying ships broke through space and blocked the path of the Black Dragon flying ship. Every single one of these hundreds of spaceships had a blood-red full moon on its hull. Blood Moon. Lu Yiping had seen the memories of the purple extreme demon race leader, so he knew some of the forces in the Ionic star field. Taurus Longjiao looked at the flying ships blocking the path of the Black Dragon flying ship and chuckled. It seemed like he could practice his hand strength again. Among the hundreds of flying ships, a blood-colored middle-aged man walked out of the largest flying ship in the middle. The middle-aged man wore a blood-colored battle robe, and a blood-colored aura billowed around him. Even his eyes were blood-red, and he reeked of blood. He was the big leader of the Bloody Moon faction, and also an existence that could make the surrounding star areas pale. The Bloody Moon faction's big leader looked at Lu Yiping and the other two and smiled evilly, the ship is not bad. Leave the ship and all your spatial artifacts behind, and you can go. Lu Yiping said indifferently, kill them all. Evil robbers like the Bloody Moon faction would be a disaster if they were left alive. Over the years, countless merchant ships and experts from the dozens of star regions around had been robbed and killed. When Taurus Longjiao heard this, he immediately leaped up and stood on the Black Dragon spaceship. A golden pillar appeared in his hand. Then, the golden pillar instantly expanded to 100 million times its original size, spanning countless miles across the galaxy. Long Jiajin waved his hand, and the golden pillar shot out. Suddenly, the originally calm Star River was stirred up by hundreds of millions of storms, which were many times stronger than the most superstar river storm. The terrifying power swept toward the hundreds of spaceships of the Bloody Moon faction. On the hundreds of spaceships, there were hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members. Some were shaving their nails with knives, some were drinking blood wine, and some were humming songs leisurely. Suddenly, they saw Taurus Longjiao fly up, and the golden pillar that was beyond their imagination swept toward them. They could not help but be stunned. The big leader of the Bloody Moon faction, who had been smiling evilly, was also stunned. When he came to himself, he shouted in horror, "Close! Run!" He turned into a ball of bloody light and flew up without a care for anything else, frantically trying to escape from the spaceship. Other Bloody Moon faction members also came to themselves and fled in panic. These spaceships could be said to be their lifeblood. They had never abandoned the spaceships, but now, they all abandoned the spaceships and fled. Just when hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members abandoned the spaceships and fled, the Golden Pillar swept over and hit the first spaceship. That spaceship was instantly broken into countless pieces like a piece of paper. Then, the Golden Pillar's sweeping momentum did not stop. It swept over the second, the third, and the spaceships were blown up one after another. Even the largest spaceship of the big leader of the Bloody Moon faction, which was at the acquired spirit treasure level, was no exception. All of them were blown up. In the explosion, the fragments shot into the surrounding space of the Star River. Some Bloody Moon faction members were hit by these fragments and directly turned into blood mist. In the explosion of these fragments, the power was beyond imagination. Wherever the Golden Pillar swept over, many Bloody Moon faction members were also blown into countless pieces by the airwaves swept by the Golden Pillar. When the Golden Pillar stopped, hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members had all disappeared. In the brilliant Star River, there were more masses of blood mist. These blood mists gathered together, like a blood river floating in the Star River. In the airwaves of the Golden Pillar, the big leader of the Bloody Moon faction, who was blown away by the airwaves, was stunned when he saw hundreds of spaceships blown up and hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members killed. His Bloody Moon faction, which had dominated dozens of star areas around, experienced countless bloody battles, was besieged by various forces for many times, and escaped from death for many times. Not only was it not destroyed, but it became more and more powerful. But just now, it was all gone. Everything was gone. All of them were dead. In a daze, he looked at a golden retriever Taurus Longjiao with a horrified face. How could there be such a terrifying existence in this world? Taurus Longjiao waved the Golden Pillar in his hand and said, "The Sky Pillar is more convenient to use. That little fish is too soft." The Golden Pillar in his hand was the largest Sky Pillar in the Archean Celestial Court. After it was refined by him, it had swept away countless monstrous existences in the ancient times. Che Ziping looked at the hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members who were swept away by the Golden Pillar and could not help but feel shocked. He could see that among the Bloody Moon faction members, there were many auras that were stronger than God Slayer and God Copper of the Northern Wilderness Divine Mansion. The big leader of the Bloody Moon faction was much stronger than God of the Underworld, Ing Fei Li. At this time, the dying Bloody Moon faction's big leader's blood essence surged, and a divine talisman appeared. He frantically activated the divine talisman and broke through space to escape. But Lu Yiping's eyes flickered, and the fleeing Bloody Moon faction's big leader was sucked back. The Bloody Moon faction's big leader looked at Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao in fear. "Who are you?" Lu Yiping's finger flew out and a finger blade flew out, cutting off the Bloody Moon faction's big leader's head. Moments later, the Black Dragon flying ship broke through space and left. In the Milky Way, the blood of hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members flowed, and the Bloody Moon faction's big leader's corpse floated in the air. After the Black Dragon flying ship disappeared, another flying ship broke through space in the distance. It was the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's flying ship. Wan Litong, who was standing at the bow, saw the flowing blood river and countless flying ship fragments in the distance. He could not help but ask everyone to stop. "President, that seems to be the Bloody Moon faction's big leader." One of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's experts was shocked, pointing to the front. Chapter 290. Wan Litong's group followed the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's experts' gaze and looked towards a certain spot in the galaxy. There, they saw a human head floating in the air. Not far from the human head was a headless corpse. When they saw the face of the human head, Wan Litong and the others widened their eyes. "It seems to be Cold Blood Yu." Sun Quan, the vice president of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce, stuttered. Cold Blood Yu was the name of the Bloody Moon faction's leader. "Move the spaceship forward." Wan Litong still didn't believe it and ordered the spaceship to move closer to the corpse. Finally, the spaceship arrived in front of the human head. Everyone saw the appearance of the human head. It's cold blood you. Wan Litong took a deep breath and said. However, his voice couldn't calm down. The leader of the Bloody Moon faction, Cold Blood Yu, was dead. Who killed Cold Blood Yu? Sun Quan, the vice president of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce, was shocked. Look, Cold Blood Yu must have seen something terrifying before she died. That's why she was so frightened. Cold Blood Yu's face, even though she was dead, was still terrified. Wan Litong's face was also dignified. Then, he looked at the floating blood river and countless spaceship fragments. In his heart, there was a bold guess. This is the Bloody Moon faction spaceship fragments. So many fragments, could it be that all the Bloody Moon faction spaceships were blown up? So much blood, could it be that the entire Bloody Moon faction was destroyed? An expert of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce joked. However, as soon as he said that, he found that everyone was silent, looking at the blood river and spaceship fragments in horror. The expert of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce was stunned. Could it really be? Wan Litong looked at the blood river and spaceship fragments, and the more he looked, the more frightened and incredulous he became. From the looks of these spaceship fragments, it seemed that they were destroyed by a single blow. A single person destroyed hundreds of Bloody Moon faction spaceships with one blow. Even Cold Blood Yu's acquired spirit treasure spaceship was destroyed. Just how much power was needed to do this? Hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members were also killed in one blow. Wan Litong felt his scalp tingling. In the surrounding star fields, many super sects and chambers of commerce had joined forces to besiege the Bloody Moon faction but failed. Even the God Mansion army had sent troops to besiege Bloody Moon faction but they still escaped. But now, a mysterious existence had destroyed the Bloody Moon faction with one blow. President, do you think it's possible that one person destroyed the Bloody Moon faction with one blow? Sun Quan, the vice president of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce, suddenly asked. Clearly, he and Wan Litong thought of the same thing. One person destroyed the Bloody Moon faction. That's impossible. The experts of the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce couldn't believe it. Wan Litong looked ahead and said, the masters of Bloody Moon faction were killed not long ago. They should have just left. If we catch up with them, we may know who did it. The vice president of Crimson Flames, Sun Quan, was shocked. President, let's forget about it. It was too late for them to avoid such an existence. When Wan Litong saw Sun Quan's nervous look, he smiled and said, I was just saying. Sun Quan and the others breathed a sigh of relief. The Crimson Flame Chamber of Commerce's flying ship didn't linger either, continuing to fly forward. After flying for a while, Sun Quan, who was standing at the bow of the ship, suddenly said, President, that seems to be the spaceship you asked us to investigate. Wan Litong was stunned. Following Sun Quan's gaze, he saw a jet-black spaceship in front of him. A huge black dragon almost covered the entire body of the ship. Wan Litong's heart skipped a beat when he saw the black dragon. He then looked at the bow of the ship. Standing on the bow was a young man in blue, a burly golden retriever, and a scholarly middle-aged man. Wan Litong was bewildered when he saw the three of them. This spaceship seemed to be the Black Dragon spaceship from the past. Since Lu Yiping had slowed down the Black Dragon spaceship, the Scarlet Flame spaceship caught up with the Black Dragon spaceship in no time. Lu Yiping turned around to look at the Scarlet Flame spaceship. Wan Litong hesitated for a moment before asking, May I ask young noble, is this the Black Dragon spaceship from the past? That's right. Lu Yiping said nonchalantly. Wan Litong was stunned. At this time, a spaceship broke through the void in the distance. There was a special symbol on the spaceship, the symbol of the Aeon Divine Manners spaceship. Grand Commander Yen. Sun Quan greeted when he saw the person standing at the bow of the ship. This person was none other than the Grand Commander of the Aeon Divine Manor, Yen Jian. The Blood Moon faction's annihilation and Cold Blood Moon's death were big news. Thus, the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's members had reported the matter to the Aeon Divine Manor. Although this wasn't the Aeon Star Field, the Aeon Divine Manor's authority was great. The Aeon Divine Manor in the surrounding star fields were under the Aeon Divine Manor's jurisdiction. When Yen Jian arrived, he cupped his fists and greeted Wan Litong, President Wan Litong. After exchanging a few pleasantries with Wan Litong, Yen Jian asked about the exact location of the Blood Moon faction's incident before bidding farewell to Wan Litong. When the Aeon Divine Manor's spaceship left, Wan Litong realized that the Black Dragon spaceship was nowhere to be found. The Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's spaceship continued to fly towards the Aeon Star Field. Standing at the bow of the ship, Wan Litong kept thinking about the Black Dragon spaceship and the blue-robed young man. President Sun Quan came to Wan Litong's side. He hesitated for a moment before asking, "That Black Dragon spaceship, do you think it's the same person who killed the Blood Moon faction?" Wan Litong's heart skipped a beat, and he blurted out, "What did you say?" Earlier, he had been thinking about the records of the Black Dragon spaceship, but he didn't think too much about it. Not long after we passed by the Blood Moon faction's location, we came across the Black Dragon spaceship. It's too much of a coincidence. Moreover, we didn't see any other spaceships in this star field. Sun Quan said. Hearing Sun Quan's analysis, Wan Litong's face turned solemn. 2 days later, Lu Yiping and the rest entered the Aeon star field and headed towards the Boundless Plain. The Boundless Plain was the biggest plain in the Aeon star field. Just like the Chaos Plain in the Northern Wilderness star field, it was the plain with the most experts and super sects in the Aeon star field. The strongest experts from the lower realm were gathered there. That was also the place where the merchant associations gathered. It was convenient for Lu Yiping to gather information. Moreover, Che Peng had left behind a bloodline in the Boundless Plain. Lu Yiping wanted to know if there were any descendants of his bloodline. When Lu Yiping and the rest arrived at the Boundless Plain, it was already a day later. The three of them inquired about Ziwei City and headed towards Ziwei City. Ziwei City was an extremely ancient city in the Boundless Plain. It was extremely huge, and Ziwei City alone was like a small continent. The three of them entered Ziwei City. Che Ziping looked at the people coming and going, the endless stream of experts and the surrounding shops, and felt a little emotional. Ziwei City was the same as it was in the past, but it was so unfamiliar. Our city lord Ziwei has successfully condensed the 10 great totems. 3 days later, he will invite all the experts to a banquet. In the city, many people were discussing the city lord Ziwei's success in condensing the 10 great totems and inviting all the experts to a banquet. Based on his memory, Che Peng brought Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao to the mansion he had bought years ago. Chapter 291. The mansion was still there. The 2 words, Che Mansion, were written on the mansion's entrance. Ancient god experts had a long lifespan and could live up to 300,000 to 400,000 years. Therefore, in the eternal star field, there were many more super sects with millions of years of history than in the Hanyuan dimension. However, nothing was absolute in this world. Like the undead tribe of the Chaos Dimension and the Firmament Palace, if they offended someone like Lu Yiping, they could be wiped out in one night. Therefore, when Che Peng saw that the Che Mansion was still there, he could finally relax. Moreover, looking at the mansion's decoration, his lineage wasn't doing too badly. "Who are you looking for?" The guard in front of the Che Mansion saw Lu Yiping and the other 2 and asked politely. Che Peng stepped forward and threw a token to the guard, saying, "I want to see your current patriarch." The guard was puzzled. When he saw the token, he was shocked. Wasn't this a token that only the patriarchs of the Che family could possess? "Sir, please wait a moment," the guard hurriedly said, and then turned to enter the mansion. At this time, the current patriarch of the Che family, Che Suping, was enthusiastically entertaining the small deacon of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce, Ren Jifeng. Although Ren Jifeng was only a small deacon of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce, he was already a distinguished guest to the Che family. "Deacon Ren, I'll have to trouble you with my son's matter." Che Suping handed a jade box containing the spiritual herbs to Ren Jifeng. Che Suping had 2 sons and 1 daughter. He wanted to ask Ren Jifeng to help his son find a small position in the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce. Ren Jifeng opened the jade box and saw a sparkling blood lotus. It was about 300,000 to 400,000 years old. Snow lotuses were common, but blood lotuses were rare. A blood lotus of 300,000 to 400,000 years old was a good treasure even for an ancient god who had condensed a totem. Ren Jifeng smiled when he saw Shui Lian. "That's easy. Clan head Che, don't worry. When the time comes, I'll let Jiahe work for me. First, I'll let him be my secretary. After a few years, I'll find a better position." When Che Suping heard this, her face lit up. She cupped her fists and said with a smile, "Many thanks, Deacon Ren." At this moment, the guard who was guarding the door excitedly walked in. After that, he bowed to Che Suping and Ren Jifeng and said, "Lord Clan Head, there is a person outside. He has the clan head token of our Che clan and says he wants to see you." When Che Suping heard that, she was astonished. She hurriedly said, "What? Our Che clan's patriarch's token? Quick, show it to me." Ren Jifeng was also surprised. Could it be that the previous clan head of the Che clan had returned? It was said that after the previous clan head of the Che clan entered the dangerous Sea of Mines in the Purple Thunder Plain, there was no more news about him. The guard quickly handed the token to Che Suping. Che Suping received the command token and looked at it carefully. She said excitedly, "It's really the command token of our Che clan's clan head. Has Lord Kai Ching returned?" Then, he stood up and cupped his fists at Ren Jifeng. "Deacon Ren, please take a seat. I'll go out for a while." Ren Jifeng smiled and said, "It's fine. I have nothing to do anyway. I'll go out with you and take a look." Che Suping didn't bother with pleasantries. She walked out of the residence side by side with Ren Jifeng. When they arrived at the entrance, Che Suping saw Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Che Peng. There was a trace of doubt in his eyes. The previous patriarch Che Kai Cheng was his uncle. He had met him before. The 3 people in front of him were not Che Kai Cheng. "Lord Patriarch, it's this lord." The guard stepped forward and said to Che Suping. Che Suping followed the guard's gaze and looked at Che Peng. "May I know who this lord is?" Che Suping asked respectfully. Che Peng didn't answer. Instead, he circulated his god force. In an instant, specks of starlight surrounded him. Heavenly Cycle Secret Technique. Che Suping was shocked. This Heavenly Cycle Secret Technique was a secret technique that had been lost in their Che clan for a long time. Only the previous patriarch could learn it. Moreover, looking at Che Peng's Heavenly Cycle Secret Technique, he had obviously reached perfection stage. Then, Che Peng crossed his arms and made a strange hand gesture. Seeing this hand gesture, Che Suping was shocked. He no longer hesitated and stepped forward. "Junior Che Suping greets Lord." Although he couldn't confirm Che Peng's identity, through the Heavenly Cycle Secret Technique and that hand gesture, he was certain that Che Peng was one of their Che clan's patriarchs. The other Che clan experts also hurried forward to greet Che Peng. Che Peng nodded, gesturing for Che Suping and the others to rise. He said, "I was trapped in a certain place for many years. It was Lord who rescued me." Then, he introduced Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao to everyone. After saluting, Che Suping and the others invited Lu Yiping, Che Peng, and Taurus Longjiao into the residence. After inviting Lu Yiping and Che Peng into the residence, Che Suping also introduced Ren Jifeng to Lu Yiping and the others. "Oh, you're the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's junior deacon," Lu Yiping said. Ren Jifeng smiled, "I'm from the Ziwei City's mission hall." Because he couldn't figure out Lu Yiping's strength and identity, his attitude was considered polite. Everyone entered the main hall and sat down. Lu Yiping said, "I want to entrust your Red Flame Chamber of Commerce to help me collect a type of stone, a tree block, and a jade disc. May I know what kind of stone, tree block, and jade disc Master Lu wants to collect?" Ren Jifeng didn't put it to heart. Lu Yiping described the Buzhou Mountain stone, tree block, and fortune jade disc's appearance, then said, "Stone and tree block, as long as your Chamber of Commerce can help me collect them, I'll give your Chamber of Commerce 100 drops of star chaos water per cubic meter." PFFF. Ren Jifeng and Che Suping were drinking tea when they both spat out the water. Ren Jifeng looked at Lu Yiping in disbelief. 1 cubic meter, 100 drops of star chaos water. He doubted his ears. Even in the eternal star field, star chaos water was a treasure that was in short supply. Lu Yiping said nonchalantly, "That's right, 100 drops of star chaos water." He then took out a bucket of star chaos water and placed it on the ground. "If you can help me find that kind of jade disc, I'll give you 10 buckets of star chaos water per jade disc." Previously, Lu Yiping had given old Jiang and Zhou Ken 2 buckets. Now, it was 10 buckets, a 5 times increase. In any case, this star chaos water was useless to him, and he didn't want to waste space in the cauldron. 10 buckets of star chaos water. Ren Jifeng stared at the big bucket of star chaos water in a daze. As a small attendant of the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce, this was his first time seeing so much star chaos water. As for Che Suping, it was needless to say. Although the Che family ran several small shops and had some wealth, it was only a little wealth. He had never seen a bucket used to store star chaos water. "That's right, 10 buckets of star chaos water," Lu Yiping said, then took out 9 buckets of star chaos water and placed them in front of Ren Jifeng. Ren Jifeng's breathing was rapid, and his nostrils seemed to be equipped with super fans, puffing and puffing. The teacup in Che Suping's hand was shaking, and she didn't even know that the tea had spilled out. Chapter 292. 10 buckets of star chaos water emitted a mysterious light as chaos chi filled the entire hall, but it did not overflow. Otherwise, it would have alerted all the experts in the Che manor. Inside the hall, Che Suping and Ren Jifeng couldn't move their eyes away for a long time. They seriously suspected that these 10 buckets of star chaos water contained some kind of sticky gas. After a long time, Ren Jifeng regained his senses and stood up from his seat, hurriedly saying respectfully to Lu Yiping, "Master Lu, I will report this to the higher-ups, please wait for a moment." His tone and demeanor changed drastically. Just now, in front of Lu Yiping and the others, he was more or less relying on his identity as the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's small deacon. Now, in front of these 10 buckets of star chaos water, how could he dare to rely on his little identity? Ren Jifeng quickly took out his communication talisman and reported to his superiors. The highest level he could contact was their Ziwei City's Mission Hall's Grand Deacon. Ziwei City's Mission Hall's Grand Deacon was playing a kissing game with his maids when he received Ren Jifeng's communication talisman. He was shocked and didn't dare to delay, quickly reporting to his superiors. Above him was Ziwei City's Mission Hall's Deputy Hall Master. Hence, the Deputy Hall Master reported to the Hall Master, and the Hall Master reported to the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Ziwei City Branch President. However, the amount of star chaos water Lu Yiping was involved in was too large, hence, the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Ziwei City Branch President hurriedly reported to his superiors. After more than a dozen reports, it finally reached the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Vice President Sun Quan. Sun Quan was discussing the income of the various branches in the limitless world with Wan Litong when he suddenly received a report from his subordinate. He was dumbfounded. 10 buckets of star chaos water. About 300,000 drops per bucket. Wan Litong was puzzled when he saw Sun Quan's dumbfounded expression and mentioned 10 buckets of star chaos water with 300,000 drops per bucket. Sun Quan quickly passed his communication talisman to Wan Litong. Wan Litong was shocked after reading the report. Is this accurate? It should be true. Sun Quan said. If this matter was not true, his subordinates wouldn't dare to report to him. Ziwei City. Wan Litong suddenly stood up. You contact the Ziwei City branch president, tell him that I will go there personally and will be there tomorrow. Then, let him ask the guest and let him decide on the location. Sun Quan was stunned and said, President, I'll go. Wan Litong waved his hand and said, this matter concerns millions of drops of stellar chaos water. I want to negotiate with the other party personally. Come with me. Sun Quan nodded. He was also curious about the person who could take out 10 buckets of star chaos water. In the main hall of the Che Manor, Ren Jifeng received a reply from his superiors. He was stunned for a long time. The president and the vice president were coming over personally tomorrow. And the location of the meeting was decided by Master Lu. To him, a small deacon in Ziwei City, the guild master of their branch was like the heavens. He couldn't even meet the guild master even if he wanted to. As for the main guild master and vice guild master of the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce, they were beyond his imagination. What did your superior say? Lu Yiping asked indifferently. Ren Jifeng, who was in a daze, was jolted awake. He swallowed hard and said, Young Master Lu, our Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's president and vice president will personally come to discuss this business with young Master Lu. They will arrive at Ziwei City tomorrow. Che Suping's mind was blown when she heard this. The Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's president is coming to Ziwei City. To the Che Manor, Ren Jifeng, a small deacon in the Ziwei City branch, was already an important guest. If the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce's president were to come personally, that was simply. Che Suping's hand holding the teacup trembled even more violently. There was no more tea in the cup. Of course, the floor around him was covered in tea. Our president said that the location of the meeting will be decided by Master Lu. Ren Jifeng said again. Che Suping's body trembled as she looked eagerly at Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping understood Che Suping's meaning and said to Ren Jifeng, let's do it here. Ren Jifeng immediately reported Lu Yiping's words to his superiors. Finally, the news was passed back to Wan Litong and Sun Quan. Che Manor. Wan Litong said solemnly, send people to check if there were any powerful characters in the Che family's history. Yes, President. Sun Quan complied. Finally, Ren Jifeng left the Che Manor. When he left, he lightened his footsteps, not daring to hold his head high. After Ren Jifeng left, Che Suping came to Lu Yiping's group of 3 and said respectfully, 3 sirs, I will arrange a place for you to stay. He had already tried his best to suppress the excitement in his heart, but it was still difficult. At this time, Lu Yiping had already put away the 10 barrels of star chaos water. Nodding, he thought for a moment and took out 100 drops of star chaos water, saying, we will be staying in the Che Manor for a few days. You can accept this star chaos water. Che Suping was stunned and looked at Che Peng. Che Ziping said, since the Lord is giving it to you, you should accept it. Che Suping respectfully complied and received the 100 drops of star chaos water. She bowed to thank Lu Yiping again and carefully put away the 100 drops of star chaos water. Just as Che Suping put away the 100 drops of star chaos water, a guard came in to report that Wu Weidong of the Wu residence wanted to see Che Suping. When Che Suping heard that Wu Weidong of the Wu residence wanted to see her, her brows furrowed. What's the matter? Che Peng asked after seeing Che Suping's reaction. Che Suping explained, this Wu Weidong is the patriarch of the Wu family. In recent years, the Wu family has established ties with the Ziwei City's Castellan Manor's 3rd young master. Their business has grown, and they want to buy several shops under our Che Manor. Those shops are our Che Manor's main source of income. Of course, I won't agree. I've already rejected him more than 10 times, but I didn't expect him to be so persistent. Lu Yiping put down his teacup and said, let him in. Che Suping complied and ordered the guard to bring Wu Weidong in. At this time, other than the bearded Wu Weidong, there was also a fair-skinned middle-aged man clad in brocade robes. Behind the middle-aged man were two expert guards. Wu Weidong smiled at the middle-aged man. This time, I'll have to trouble Steward Jianxin. It's just a small matter. Kang Jianxin said. Moments later, the guards at the door came out and invited Wu Weidong's group in. Kang Jianxin, Wu Weidong, and the others walked into the Che Manor. When they arrived at the main hall, Che Suping's face changed slightly when she saw Kang Jianxin standing beside Wu Weidong. She said to Lu Yiping and Che Peng, that is the Ziwei city's third young master Su Wenhua's steward, Kang Jianxin. I didn't expect Wu Weidong to bring Kang Jianxin here. When Kang Jianxin's group entered, Che Suping dared not slight them. She cupped her fists and greeted Kang Jianxin, Steward Kang. Kang Jianxin, who walked in with his hands clasped behind his back, did not respond. He leisurely walked into the main hall and scanned the Che Manor's main hall. When he saw Lu Yiping and the other two seated on the main seats, he frowned. Who are these three people? Chapter 293. Kang Jianxin's tone was filled with dissatisfaction. Che Suping hurriedly explained, these three lords are my Che family's elders, they just returned from outside. Kang Jianxin was puzzled, Che family's elders. Then he walked over to the seat opposite Lu Yiping and sat down, saying, Che Suping, Wu Weidong and I came here today mainly to talk to you about your Che family's 6 shops. Che Suping shook her head, Steward Kang, those 6 shops are my Che family's main source of income, we won't sell them. Kang Jianxin frowned, I've checked the price Wu Weidong offered you, it's reasonable. Che Suping shook her head, I said, I won't sell them. Kang Jianxin's face sank, Che Suping, I'll tell you the truth, in a few days, the third young master will marry the Lin family's young miss, these 6 shops are Wu Weidong's gift to the third young master. Che Suping's face tightened. Taurus Longjiao sneered, so what if this surnamed Wu wants to buy them as a gift to your whatever dog fart third young master? Dog fart third young master. Kang Jianxin jumped to his feet, slamming the tea table beside him, glaring at Taurus Longjiao, how dare you? The tea table broke into pieces with a crash and scattered all over the floor. Seeing this, Che Peng's face turned cold, his palm striking the air. A thunderous boom. Kang Jianxin was directly smashed into the ground. The ground shook. Wu Weidong and the 2 Wu family guards were stunned, looking at Kang Jianxin who was smashed into the ground. Everything happened so suddenly that Wu Weidong and the other 2 could not react in time. You guys? Wu Weidong looked at Che Peng, Lu Yiping, and Taurus Longjiao in shock and anger. Lu Yiping said, you're the Wu family's patriarch, right? This is my first time in Ziwei City, I want a place to stay. How much is your Wu family residence, name a price. Wu Weidong's face turned green with anger, you said you want to buy my Wu family residence. That's right. Lu Yiping said, 100 billion heaven-grade spirit stones. 100 billion heaven-grade spirit stones. Wu Weidong and Che Suping were stunned. Although every inch of land in Ziwei City was worth gold, the Wu family mansion was still not worth 100 billion heaven-grade spirit stones. Indifferent, Wu Weidong said, Steward Kang Jianxin is the third young master's steward. You seriously injured Steward Kang, that is the same as offending the third young master. In Ziwei City, do you know the consequences of offending the third young master? Taurus Longjiao chuckled and said, we just came to Ziwei City, we really don't know what will happen if we offend this bullshit third young master. Why don't you tell us what will happen? Wu Weidong heard Taurus Longjiao's teasing tone. Indifferent, he said, you will find out soon enough. Then, he and the 2 Wu family bodyguards lifted the dying Kang Jianxin and left the Che mansion. When Taurus Longjiao was about to make a move, Lu Yiping said indifferently, forget it. Then he asked Che Suping, is this Ziwei City's city lord from the Su family? Che Suping quickly replied, yes, Ziwei City Lord Su Qing is a core disciple of the Su family. Su family. Lu Yiping's eyes were deep. The Eternal Starfield had gathered almost all the strongest families and sects in the lower realm. The 100 strongest families in the Eternal Starfield were collectively known as the Eternal 100 Families. The Su family was one of the 100 families. The 100 strongest sects in the Eternal Starfield were collectively known as the 100 sects. There was also a list of experts in the Eternal Starfield that included the 10,000 strongest experts in the Eternal Starfield. This list was similar to the Northern Wilderness Divine List, but it was not called the Eternal God List. It was called the Sovereign List. The Sovereign List was the sovereign of heaven and earth. They were the sovereigns of the lower realm. Every expert on the Sovereign List was in existence that could intimidate countless starfields. A stomp of their feet was enough to make a starfield pale. The Su family's core disciple, Taurus Longjiao said, that means he is the descendant of that brat Su Jirong. Su Jirong. Che Suping could not figure out who Taurus Longjiao was referring to. After that, Che Suping arranged a place for Lu Yiping and the other two to stay. At the same time, she warned the Che family's disciples and experts not to disturb Lu Yiping and the other two. After Che Suping left, Lu Yiping suddenly said, "In this life, the mandate of heaven is about to appear. Every few years, the mandate of heaven and earth would be born." The mandate of heaven and earth was similar to the laws of heaven and earth. The ancient gods of the 10 great totems and above could fuse with the mandate of heaven and become an existence that surpassed the ancient gods. However, the number of mandates of heaven that were born each time was not many. Normally, only a few would be born. However, in this world, there were so many ancient gods of the 10 great totems. How could a few mandates of heaven be enough? Thus, the moment the heavens was born, all the experts and powers would crazily fight for it. A few super sects with ancient heritages could be annihilated in order to compete for the heavens' will. Che Ping said respectfully, "Yes, my lord. The mandate of heaven is about to appear. At most, it will take 10 years. Any ancient god of the 10 great totems and above could predict the approximate time of the mandate of heaven's birth. 10 years. Lu Yiping said, "In these few years, prepare well." Che Ziping understood Lu Yiping's meaning and bowed, "Thank you, my lord." Although he had condensed the 12 totems, without Lu Yiping's help, the chances of him obtaining a mandate of heaven were slim. Of course, with Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao around, things would be different. Lu Yiping nodded. Although he used the Tree of Life to restore Che Peng's vitality and blood, the lifespan of an ancient god was not long. If Che Peng could fuse with the mandate of heaven, his lifespan would increase greatly. Che Peng bowed and retreated. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao sat cross-legged under the Tree of Life and began to cultivate. While Lu Yiping and Che Ziping were cultivating, Wu Weidong brought the dying Kong Jianxin back to Su Wenguo's residence. Su Wenguo looked at Kong Jianxin, who was almost flattened, being carried back and his face turned cold. When he found out that it was the Che family who did it, he couldn't help but be surprised. "The Che family?" Su Wenguo said, "Is it Che Suping?" Kong Jianxin was his housekeeper and his strength was not ordinary. In the Che family, only Che Suping could hurt his housekeeper Kong Jianxin. Wu Weidong quickly said, "It's not Che Suping." He then told him about Lu Yiping and the other two. The elders of the Che family who just returned. Su Wenguo pondered and said, "I know about this matter. You can go back first." Wu Weidong didn't dare to say anything. He bowed respectfully and retreated. At this time, a black shadow appeared behind Su Wenguo, asking, "Young lord, do you want me to make a move?" Su Wenguo shook his head. 3 days later, Lord Father will host a banquet to invite experts from various forces. We'll talk about it after the banquet is over. First, investigate these 3 people's identities. The black shadow complied and hid in the darkness, disappearing from sight. After the black shadow disappeared, Su Wenhua came to the secret chamber and began to cultivate. Purple light surged from his body and black qi filled the secret chamber. The cultivation technique Su Wenhua cultivated was the extreme purple devil tribe's cultivation technique. The next day, the sky was bright. Several figures arrived outside Ziwei City. They were Wan Litong and Sun Quan from the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce. Other than them, there were also two other experts from the Chamber of Commerce. Chapter 294. As soon as Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the other two arrived, the Ziwei City branch president Lu Shangyi hurried out to greet them. Because Wan Litong did not want to alert the Ziwei City's forces, he only sent Lu Shangyi out to greet them. Greetings, Lord President, Lord Vice President. Lu Shangyi stood in front of Wan Litong and Sun Quan respectfully, his palms were sweaty from excitement. Although he was the Ziwei City branch president, the chances of meeting Wan Litong and Sun Quan were few and far between. Usually, he only had the chance to meet Wan Litong and Sun Quan when the headquarters summoned all the branches to report. Even so, he stood far away from them, unlike now where he could meet Wan Litong and Sun Quan up close. Wan Litong and Sun Quan nodded slightly at Lu Shangyi. Don't be nervous. Seeing Lu Shangyi's nervous expression, Wan Litong said, lead us to the Che Manor. Yes, Lord President. Lu Shangyi replied respectfully, then led Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and Sun Quan into the Ziwei City. After the five of them entered the Ziwei City, they headed straight to the Che Manor. Soon, they arrived at the Che Manor's main entrance. Normally, people like Lu Shangyi, even the Ziwei City Castellan Su Qing would have to be courteous when meeting him. But now that they were standing in front of the Che Manor's main entrance, Lu Shangyi dared not act rashly. Stepping forward, Lu Shangyi politely explained his, Wan Litong, and Sun Quan's identities to the Che Manor's guards and had them enter to report. Hearing that, the Che Manor's guards rushed into the Che Manor's main hall. Lu Shangyi, Wan Litong, and Sun Quan waited patiently outside the Che Manor. While Lu Shangyi, Wan Litong, and Sun Quan were waiting outside the Che Manor, the Ziwei City Castellan Manor's Grand Commander Du Heng passed by and was stunned when he saw Lu Shangyi. As the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Ziwei City branch president, Lu Shangyi was one of the few top existences in the Ziwei City. As the Grand Commander of the Ziwei City Castellan Manor, he naturally recognized Lu Shangyi. Seeing Lu Shangyi, the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Ziwei City branch president, standing behind an old man with his head lowered respectfully, Du was astounded. Who was this old man? Who could make Lu Shangyi so respectfully stand behind him? Not to mention, who were they waiting for? He looked at the mansion and couldn't help but be puzzled. Che Mansion. This Che family was only a very ordinary first-rate power in Ziwei City. What did Lu Shangyi and the others come to Che Manor for? Surprised and curious, he couldn't help but pause. At this moment, he saw Che Suping hurriedly walk out of the residence. Greetings to Lord Wan Li, Lord Sun, and Lord Lu. When Che Suping received the report, she rushed out of the main door, respectfully saluting Lu Shangyi, Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the rest. Lu Shangyi frowned when he saw that only Che Suping had come out. Where are the three elders of the Che family? Their president and vice president had come in person, but only Che Suping had come out. This made him unhappy. Wan Litong. Sun Quan also frowned. With their status, even if they arrived at the major plains, the masters of the major plains would have to come out to greet them. Like Ziwei City's city lord Su Qing, if he knew that Yang Kai was coming to Ziwei City, he would most likely come out to greet him. It's fine. Wan Litong suppressed the unhappiness in his heart, waving his hand as he spoke. He then turned to Che Suping and said, let's go inside. Yes, yes. Che Suping hurriedly said, President Wan, please. She then quickly led Wan Litong and the others into the Che Manor. Lords, please take a seat, I will go invite Lord Lu and the others. After entering the main hall, Che Suping excused herself and quickly turned to invite Lu Yiping and the others in. Che Suping was so anxious that her forehead was covered in sweat. When she arrived at Lu Yiping's courtyard, she knocked on Lu Yiping's door. Lu Yiping let her in. "Lord, the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's President Wan Li and the others are here, they are already in the main hall." Che Suping hurriedly reported after entering the main hall. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao stood up. Che Ping looked at Che Suping, who was sweating profusely, and said, "Even if the sky collapses, there's still Lord to hold it up, why are you so anxious?" Che Suping's heart shuddered, but she complied. Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, Che Ping, and the others walked into the main hall. Wan Li Tong and Sun Quan, who were sitting leisurely in the main hall, suddenly saw Che Suping leading Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao into the main hall. When they saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao's faces, both of them jumped in fright. Wan Li Tong and Sun Quan's hearts skipped a beat. "It's them. Aren't these the three people from the Black Dragon flying ship?" Wan Li Tong and Sun Quan stood up involuntarily. Lu Shangyi and the other two also stood up. "So, it's young noble." Wan Li Tong cupped his fists and smiled, "We meet again." Lu Shangyi, Che Suping, and the others were stunned. Lu Yiping nodded with a faint smile, "You're the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's president, Wan Li Tong." Hearing Lu Yiping call him by his real name, Wan Li Tong didn't mind. He smiled and said, "It is this old man." Everyone sat back down. After exchanging a few pleasantries, they entered the main topic of the transaction. "I heard from little Deacon Ren Jifeng that Master Lu wants to collect a kind of tree block and stone." Wan Li Tong asked. Lu Yiping confirmed, "That's right." Then, using his finger as a brush, Huang Xiaolong drew a line in the air. In the air above the main hall, the building tree block and Buzhou mountain stone appeared. The building tree block and Buzhou mountain stone that Lu Yiping drew glowed brightly, turning into real objects and falling to the ground. Wan Li Tong, Sun Quan, and the others were inwardly shocked when they saw Lu Yiping's skill. Lu Yiping had only drawn a line in the air, but he had drawn two different objects, a tree block and a rock. Furthermore, he had made the two objects instantly turn from illusion to reality. This Tao of painting had reached an astonishing level. Lu Yiping said, "According to our agreement, as long as your Chamber of Commerce helps me collect these two objects, I'll give you 100 drops of star chaos water per cubic meter." Then, Huang Xiaolong drew the fortune jade disc. "This kind of jade disc, for one piece, I'll give you 10 buckets of star chaos water," Lu Yiping stated. At the same time, he took out the heaven and earth cauldron and opened a space in the cauldron. Inside, there were several hundred buckets of star chaos water. This was only a small portion of his several 100,000 buckets of star chaos water. But when Wan Li Tong, Sun Quan, Lu Shangyi, Che Suping, and the others saw the 300 to 400 buckets of star chaos water, their throats quivered. Wan Li Tong and Sun Quan were still fine, but Lu Shangyi and Che Suping were shocked beyond words. Lu Yiping added, "This star chaos water is only a small portion of mine." "A small portion." Wan Li Tong, Sun Quan, Lu Shangyi, Che Suping, and the other two Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's experts felt their hearts tremble. "I believe you've seen the Blood Moon Gang's big leader's corpse on the way here," Lu Yiping said to Wan Li Tong and Sun Quan. Wan Li Tong and Sun Quan shuddered. "Could it be? The Blood Moon Gang was annihilated by my staff," Taurus Longjiao said. "The Blood Moon Gang was annihilated with a staff strike." Wan Li Tong and Sun Quan stared at Taurus Longjiao in shock. Lu Shangyi, Che Suping, and the other three were also dumbstruck looking at Taurus Longjiao. The Blood Moon Gang's big leader, Leng Shuiyue, was a venerable ranked expert on the sovereign list. The news of the Blood Moon Gang's annihilation had spread to the Eternal Star Field, even Lu Shangyi had heard of it. Originally, he wanted to hire workers to throw away the old furniture, but the other party wanted 400, so he couldn't bear to part with it. Therefore, he would have to slowly dismantle the old furniture and throw it away bit by bit in the next few days. When the time comes, he would have to buy new furniture. Plus, it's already the end of the year, so the update would be at the third update. If he's not busy, the update would be at the fourth update. Chapter 295. These days, the mysterious expert who had killed the Bloody Moon faction was actually the strong man in the golden retriever in front of him. Furthermore, the other party had said that he had killed it with a single strike. How horrible the stick was to be able to kill hundreds of thousands of Bloody Moon faction members. Even the big leader of Bloody Moon faction, Ling Shuiyue, was beaten to death. When Lu Shangyi saw the 300 to 400 buckets of star chaos water, he couldn't help but be startled awake. He looked at Taurus Longjiao in horror. The main hall was silent for a moment. After a long time, Wan Litong's throat wriggled, and he cupped his fists to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao and said with a wry smile, "Previously on the way, we guessed whether the Bloody Moon faction was killed by you, child. Now we know it's true." Then he said, "The Bloody Moon faction has been robbing and killing the merchant ships of the surrounding star areas for many years. The major forces have suffered greatly. Young masters, you have destroyed the Bloody Moon faction. This old man thanks the three of you on behalf of the major chambers of commerce." Lu Yiping waved his hand, "I just happened to run into it, so I destroyed it while I was at it. Then I'll have to trouble President Wan Litong to take care of this tree block, stone, and jade disc." When Wan Litong heard this, he felt flattered and waved his hand. "Young master is too polite. Since young master has entrusted this task to our Chamber of Commerce, it means that you trust our Chamber of Commerce. We will do our best to help young master find this tree block, stone, and jade disc." Lu Yiping continued, "There's one more thing I want to ask the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce to inquire about it for me." "Young master, please speak." Wan Litong hurriedly said. "Have you heard of the Purple Extreme Demon Clan?" Lu Yiping asked. 10,000-mile connection. Sun Quan was startled. "Is it the Purple Extreme Demon race of the primordial era?" Wan Litong asked. Lu Yiping nodded and said, "I have some grudges with the Purple Extreme Demon race. As far as I know, the Purple Extreme Demon race has a very important headquarters in the Eternal Star Field. If you can help me find their headquarters, I will give you 300 barrels of Star Chaos water." 300 barrels of Star Chaos water. Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others were dumbfounded. "Not bad." Lu Yiping continued, "If you can help me find the whereabouts of a Purple Extreme Demon, I will give you 10,000 drops of Stellar Chaos water." The whereabouts of a Purple Extreme Demon and 10,000 drops of Stellar Chaos water. The Purple Extreme Demon clan received 300 barrels of Star Chaos water. Wan Litong's eyes flickered, clearly calculating the gains and losses. If Lu Yiping were to find out the whereabouts of the Purple Extreme Demons, he might anger the Purple Extreme Demons and suffer their vengeance. "Don't worry," Lu Yiping said. "As long as you help me find the whereabouts of the Purple Extreme Demons, we will act and destroy them." Wan Litong finally nodded, "All right, our Red Flame trading firm will accept this mission." While Lu Yiping was chatting with Wan Litong and Sun Quan, Purple Myrtle City's Grand Commander Du Heng noticed that Lu Shangyi and the others had not come out from the Che Manor for a long time, so he left. Du Heng wanted to report the Purple Myrtle City's defense situation to Su Qing, so he strolled to the Castellan Manor and reported the recent situation to Su Qing. After reporting, Du Heng hesitated for a moment before telling Su Qing about Lu Shangyi entering the Che Manor. "Oh, Che Manor?" Su Qing was surprised. "Yes, and Lu Shangyi accompanied the four people into the Che Manor." Du Heng added, "This subordinate guesses that those four people came from the Red Flame trading firm's headquarters." Lu Shangyi followed behind them respectfully. "The Red Flame trading firm's headquarters?" Su Qing pondered, why did they come to the Che Manor? As the Purple Myrtle City's Castellan, he knew all the first-rate forces in the city like the back of his hand. This Che manor could barely squeeze into the first-rate forces. Che Suping was just an ordinary four-totem ancient god realm expert, and the Che family only had a few ancient god realm experts. It was impossible for a force like the Che family to have any interaction with the Red Flame trading firm's headquarters. Su Qing pondered for a moment, then said, "I'll hold a banquet 2 days later, add the Che family's name to the guest list. Send someone to deliver the invitation to Che Suping." Originally, when he held a banquet, the Che family's name was not on the guest list. "Yes, Castellan." Du Heng replied respectfully. In the Che manor, after the deal was concluded, Lu Yiping used the myriad ages wine to entertain Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others. Half a day later, Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others left the Che manor. Walking out from the Che manor, Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others felt like they were in a dream. After leaving the Che manor, Wan Litong suddenly said to Lu Shangyi, "In the future, whatever Lord Lu orders you to do, you have to personally report to me, understand?" Lu Shangyi was stunned for a second, but he reacted quickly and respectfully complied. At the same time, he was overjoyed. In the past, when did he have the chance to directly report to Wan Litong? It seemed like his promotion was imminent. "Do your job well," Wan Litong said, "especially Lord Lu's matters." Lu Shangyi bowed deeply, "Rest assured, President." Under Lu Shangyi's respectful escort, Wan Litong, Sun Quan, and the others left the Purple Myrtle City. Only after Wan Litong and the others left did Lu Shangyi return to the Purple Myrtle City. Back at the Purple Myrtle City branch, Lu Shangyi summoned the mission hall's junior deacon Ren Jifeng, asking, "I heard you have some friendship with Patriarch Che." Ren Jifeng was a little apprehensive, saying, "Yes, President. Yesterday, Che Suping wanted me to find a job for his youngest son, Che Xiaoning, in our Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce. I was thinking of letting Che Xiaoning train under me for a few years." Lu Shangyi thought for a moment, then said, "Let Che Xiaoning come to my side, I'm short of people. Go see Patriarch Che in a moment, ask him if he's willing." Ren Jifeng was dumbfounded. Their president wanted to personally guide Che Xiaoning. Moreover, he wanted him to ask Patriarch Che if he was willing. Their president was asking for Patriarch Che's opinion. Ren Jifeng thought of the 3 Che family elders. At this time, Lu Shangyi spoke again, "Jifeng have you considered moving up a rank?" Then he added, "Your mission hall's senior deacon seems to have been transferred to another branch, right?" Ren Jifeng was pleasantly surprised, their president wanted to promote him. Lu Shangyi said, "Do your job well, especially the Che family's matters. In the future, if Patriarch Che asks you to do something, you must personally report to me, understand?" Lu Shangyi's tone was exactly the same as Wan Litong's tone. Ren Jifeng nodded excitedly, bowing deeply, "Rest assured, President." A moment later, Ren Jifeng left Lu Shangyi's place and quickly walked towards the Che manor. Just as Ren Jifeng was walking towards the Che manor, Che Suping was holding the wedding invitation from the city lord's mansion. The invitation was personally delivered by a small team leader from the city lord's mansion. When he received the city lord's mansion's invitation, he couldn't believe it, wondering if the other party had sent the wrong invitation. How many years has it been in the Che manor? No patriarch has ever stepped into the Z Myrtle city lord's mansion's doorstep. He thought for a moment and came to Che Zipeng's palace, reporting to Che Zipeng about the city lord's mansion's invitation. "Since Su Qing invited you, go, don't worry," Che Zipeng said. Chapter 296. Yes, Suping understands. After receiving Che Peng's reply, Che Suping calmed down. Then, Lord Lu and Lord Xiaojin. Che Suping looked at Lu Yiping's palace and said, "You don't have to disturb Lord Lu and Lord Xiaojin." Che Ziping said, "Also, you don't have to guess their identities in the future. Lord Lu's identity isn't something you can imagine." Che Suping's heart trembled and she hurriedly responded respectfully. Lu Yiping sat cross-legged under the founding tree. Around him were the 100 heavenly steels he obtained. He had been comprehending the immemorial heavenly court's heavenly steels with the help of the founding tree. The heavenly steels even recorded many things from the desolate era. 1,000,000 years ago was the ancient era. 10,000,000 years ago was the ancient era. 100,000,000 years ago was the immemorial era. The desolate era could be traced back to 1 billion years ago, or even further. Now, it was almost impossible to find any records related to the desolate era. Therefore, the heavenly steel's records related to the desolate era were very precious. Lu Yiping even found records related to Mount Buzhou in the 100 heavenly steels. Unfortunately, there weren't many records related to Mount Buzhou. Therefore, he didn't know the reason why Mount Buzhou collapsed. After comprehending the heavenly steels for a while, Lu Yiping stopped. He put away the heavenly steels and left the courtyard with Taurus Longjiao. Although he had entrusted the Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild to help him find the founding tree, Mount Buzhou Stone, and Fortune Jade Disc, he couldn't place all his hopes on the Scarlet Flame Merchant Guild. Therefore, when he was free, he wanted to come out and see if he could sense the tree, stone, and jade disc. When he passed by the main hall, Che Suping was happily receiving Ren Jifeng. Ren Jifeng was here to pass on Lu Shangyi's message to Che Suping. He said that Lu Shangyi wanted to arrange for Che Xiaoning to work for him and asked for Che Suping's opinion. President Lu is too polite. Che Suping said excitedly. How could she be unwilling to accept such a good thing? She said to Ren Jifeng, Deacon Ren, I'll listen to President Lu's arrangements. Ren Jifeng smiled and said, Brother Su Ping, I'll go back and report to the president. Che Suping was just about to speak when she saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao pass by the main hall. She hurriedly stepped forward and bowed. Lord Lu, Lord Shaojin. When Ren Jifeng saw that it was Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, he hurried forward to greet them. Sir, are you going out? Che Suping asked carefully. Lu Yiping grunted and said, Let's go out for a walk. Xiaoning is fun. I often wander around Ziwei City and am familiar with Ziwei City. Shall I let Xiaoning lead the way for you two sirs? Che Suping said boldly. Lu Yiping thought about it and said, That's fine. Che Suping was delighted. She then called her youngest son, Che Xiaoning. Che Suping was afraid that her son would be rude in front of Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Before leaving the residence, she sternly instructed her son to be respectful to Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Father, don't worry. I guarantee that I will be more respectful to the two sirs than to old ancestor Ani. Che Xiaoning promised. Che Ani was one of Che Suping's uncles and one of the ancient gods of Che family. Che Suping was relieved. Che Xiaoning accompanied Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao out of the residence. He followed behind Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. He was very respectful and did not dare to take half a step forward. Tomorrow is the day of the City Lord's banquet. I heard that Miss Su Shaoling has returned from Black-White Deity Palace. Not only has Miss Su Shaoling returned, Black-White Deity Palace's goddess Su Tong will also follow Miss Su Shaoling to Ziwei City. What? Goddess Su Tong. As the day of Ziwei City's City Lord Su Qing's banquet approached, everyone in the city was talking about the banquet. Su Qing's daughter, Su Shaoling, was also mentioned. Su Shaoling's talent was very good. She had entered the Black-White Deity Palace at a young age and was accepted as a personal disciple by the Black-White Deity Palace Master. The Black-White Deity Palace was one of the 100 sects in the Eternal Star Field and one of the strongest sects in the boundless world. There were billions of families in the boundless world, but the Black-White Deity Palace only accepted 100 disciples every 100 years. How difficult was it to enter the Black-White Deity Palace? However, not only did Su Shaoling successfully enter the Black-White Deity Palace, but she also became the Black-White Deity Palace Master's personal disciple. Therefore, when Su Shaoling became the disciple of the Black-White Deity Palace Master, it caused a sensation in Ziwei City and the mainland where Ziwei City was located. However, compared to Su Shaoling, Su Tong's fame was even greater. Not only was she the Black-White Deity Palace Master's eldest disciple, but she was also the Black-White Deity Palace Master's #1 disciple of this generation. Moreover, she was one of the most outstanding disciples of this generation in the boundless world. Knowing that Su Tong was coming to Ziwei City, all the disciples and experts of Ziwei City were in heated discussions. Goddess Su Tong is coming to Ziwei City. Che Xiaoning, who was following behind Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao, also became excited when she heard the news. Is this goddess Su Tong very famous? Taurus Longjiao asked casually. Che Xiaoning was surprised that Taurus Longjiao didn't know about goddess Su Tong. Lord Xiaojin doesn't know about goddess Su Tong. Goddess Su Tong is one of the most famous goddesses in the boundless world. Goddess Su Tong is extremely famous. In the entire boundless world, there is no one who doesn't know about goddess Su Tong. Although goddess Su Tong is the disciple of the Black-White Deity Palace Master, her cultivation is not weaker than many famous experts of the older generation. I heard that she has already condensed the 10 great totems a few years ago. Moreover, they are not ordinary totems. Each of them has reached a height of 130 miles. Lu Yiping was surprised. 130 miles. A 130-mile totem was indeed considered an anomaly among the monstrous geniuses. One had to know that even Che Peng's totem was only 120 miles. The bigger the totem, the stronger the combat power. At that time, it would be even stronger after integrating with the mandate of heaven. Of course, when one was an ancient god, the more totems they condensed, the stronger they would be after integrating with the mandate of heaven. That's right, a 130-mile totem. Che Xiaoning said with admiration. Goddess Su Tong is the goddess that all the young disciples in the boundless world adore. Taurus Longjiao laughed. Is she also your goddess? Che Xiaoning scratched her head in embarrassment. While Lu Yiping and the others were strolling, they suddenly heard a commotion in the crowd in front of them. Miss Su Shaoling is back. At the end of the street ahead, several figures riding on silver dragons were heading towards them. Silver dragons, like golden dragons, were the kings of the dragon clan and were very rare. That's goddess Su Tong. Che Xiaoning was excited. Among the 6 disciples of the Black-White Deity Palace, there were 3 men and 3 women. The leader was a stunning beauty in a white dress. Her skin was as white as snow, and her eyes were as clear as water. As she looked around, her beauty and elegance made one's heart flutter. Su Shaoling, who was following behind Su Tong, laughed. Those male disciples are almost drooling when they see eldest senior sister. Another male disciple of the Black-White Deity Palace, Pang Bo, laughed. These male disciples are just toads lusting after a swan's meat. They should think about their own identities and our eldest senior sister's identity. Chapter 297. Zhu Weijin, the Black-White Deity Palace's disciple, looked at the surrounding family's disciples and laughed. These people's aptitude is too weak, their strength is too low. Even our Black-White Deity Palace's most ordinary outer disciples are 100 times stronger than them. Su Shaoling laughed. These Ziwei City's family disciples can't compare to our Black-White Deity Palace's disciples. As they chatted and laughed, they made their way to the Ziwei City Castellan mansion. At this time, the ground shook, and in the distance, a large group of experts riding on beast mounts arrived. It was the Ziwei City Castellan mansion's experts. Leading them was Ziwei City's Castellan, Su Qing. Other than Su Qing, there was also Su Qing's son, Su Wenhua, and Grand Commander Du Heng. Su Tong was the Black-White Deity Palace's first disciple, and also the Black-White Deity Palace's #1 disciple. She was also one of the top 10 totem experts. Therefore, when Su Qing learned of Su Tong's arrival, he hurriedly led the Castellan mansion's experts to greet her. After arriving, Ziwei City's Castellan Su Qing quickly cupped his fists at Su Tong. Su Qing greets Goddess Su Tong. Su Tong smiled, Uncle Su doesn't need to be so polite, Xiaoling is my junior sister, and you're my elder, it should be me who greets Uncle Su. Everyone exchanged some pleasantries. Then, under Su Qing's invitation, the black-white deity palaces Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin headed to the Ziwei City Castellan mansion. Looking at Su Tong's beautiful figure, Che Xiaoning couldn't retract his gaze for a long time. Taurus Longjiao laughed, she's already gone, kid, you still don't want to leave. Che Xiaoning regained his senses, smiled awkwardly, scratched his head, and then followed behind Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao. Taurus Longjiao said, this girl's appearance is not bad, but she's too arrogant. Those black-white deity palace disciples were even more annoying, saying something like a toad wanting to eat swan meat, swan. Swan. In my opinion, she's just a heavenly chicken. Che Xiaoning was dumbfounded. Heavenly chicken? Was he referring to Goddess Su Tong? Taurus Longjiao reminiscing, Princess Tianqian is still the best. The Tianqian he mentioned was the youngest daughter of the founder of Hengyuan Plains Tianwen Pavilion, Tianwen. Lu Yiping smiled. The three of them strolled around casually. After a round, there was no reaction from the building tree, Mount Buzhou, and the jade disc of good fortune. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao returned to the Che mansion and continued to cultivate the longevity art and the immortal skywood art. The next day. It was the day of Ziwei City's city lord Su Qing's banquet. Before dawn, the entire Ziwei City was bustling with noise and excitement. The streets and alleys around the city lord's mansion were decorated with lanterns and streamers, creating a festive atmosphere. There was an endless stream of masters from all over the world who came to participate in the banquet, and all kinds of luxurious mounts and carriages filled the square in front of the city lord's mansion. Che Suping also took the invitation and drove out of the Che manor early. This time, he didn't bring many people with him. His eldest son and daughter weren't around, so he brought his youngest son, Che Xiaoning, and the other two ancient gods of the Che family, Che Ani and Che Chunli. Che Xiaoning was extremely excited as she sat on the carriage. A short while later, the carriage arrived at Ziwei City's city lord mansion. Although Che Manor's carriage was also pulled by a rare divine beast, compared to the luxurious carriages that filled the square, Che Manor's carriage was a little shabby. In the most conspicuous position in the square in front of the city lord's mansion, there were 6 silver dragons crawling on the ground. These were the black-white deity palaces Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin's mounts. When the various forces experts passed by the silver dragons, they all took a detour, afraid that they would disturb the 6 silver dragons. Che Suping finally stopped the carriage at a corner of the square, then walked towards the entrance of the Ziwei City Lord's mansion with Che Xiaoning, Che Ani, and Che Chunli. When Che Suping's group arrived at the City Lord's mansion, Su Wenguo was chatting with Su Xiaoling, Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin. Third brother, today is father's banquet, why didn't your steward, Kong Jianxin, come to help? Su Xiaoling asked. Su Wenguo hesitated for a moment, then said, Kong Jianxin was beaten up a few days ago, he was seriously injured, his divine veins and godhead were shattered. What? Su Xiaoling was in disbelief, it was the Ziwei City's people. Su Wenguo nodded, it was the Ziwei City's people. Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin also stopped talking, all of them were surprised. In this Ziwei City, there is someone who dares to injure Brother Wenguo's steward? Pang Bo frowned, I wonder which super forces expert is it? Su Wenguo shook his head, it's not a super force, it's just an ordinary first-rank family called Che Manor. Che Manor? Su Xiaoling recalled, the Che Manor's patriarch seems to be an ancient god with 4 totems. Also the Che family's strongest expert. Su Wenguo nodded, that's right, originally, I wanted to send people to teach this Che family a lesson, but considering father's banquet is imminent, it wouldn't be good for the reputation, so I can only forget about it. Pang Bo snorted, a small first-rank family in the Ziwei city dares to make a move against your Su family's people, they must be punished severely. Otherwise, when the wind blows, everyone will do the same thing, and chaos will ensue. At that time, who would be afraid of your Su family? At this time, outside the city lord's mansion's entrance, a steward at the reception shouted, Ziwei City's Che family's patriarch has arrived. Su Wenhua, Su Shaoling, and the rest were stunned. Che family? Su Shaoling was puzzled. Father invited this Che Suping. Seriously injuring the Su family's people, yet he still dares to attend the banquet. Indifferent, Pang Bo said, this Che Suping doesn't put Brother Wenhua in his eyes at all. Zhu Weijin snorted, I also think this person should be punished severely. Since he broke Brother Wenhua's godhead and meridians, then we should also break his godhead and meridians. Su Wenhua shook his head, today is father's banquet, and he was invited by father, forget it. Pang Bo said, he's just an ordinary first-rank family, even if Uncle Su invited him, he's probably a dispensable person, an insignificant character. Brother Wenhua, since it's inconvenient for you to make a move, I'll make a move for you. Pang Bo stood up and walked outside. Zhu Weijin also stood up and followed behind Pang Bo. Su Tong opened her mouth, but didn't say anything in the end. At this time, inside the Castellan Manor's inner hall, Su Qing was accompanying several important guests, including the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Ziwei branch's president Lu Shangyi, as well as several Superforce's ancestors. All of them were experts of the 10 great totem clans. Lu Shangyi laughed, even the black-white deity palace's goddess Su Tong came to attend City Lord Su's banquet. City Lord Su is very fortunate. How could we have such an honor? Su Qing waved his hand and laughed, President Lu, don't tease me, I'll introduce goddess Su Tong to you later. While they were chatting happily, Che Suping, Che Shaoling, and the other two entered the Castellan Manor. They went to the reception area and handed over the gifts. Just as they were about to enter the banquet area, they saw Pang Bo and Zhu Weijin walking over, followed by Su Wenhua, Su Shaoling, and the rest. Pang Bo and Zhu Weijin were the black-white deity palace's palace master's personal disciples. Their every action was closely watched by the various forces experts. Everyone was surprised when they saw Pang Bo and Zhu Weijin walking over to Che Suping's group. Chapter 298. Che Suping watched as Pang Bo and Zhu Weijin from the black-white deity palace walked towards her, followed by Su Wenhua, Su Shaoling, and Su Tong. Che Ani and Che Chunli also recalled the matter of Su Wenhua's steward Kong Jianxin a few days ago, and their faces paled. Only Che Xiaoning was puzzled, but sensing the hostility from Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others, he had a bad feeling about this. Before everyone's eyes, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others stopped in front of Che Suping's group. The experts who came to attend the banquet noticed something was amiss, and all of them stopped in their tracks. Isn't that the Che family's patriarch, Che Suping? Did the Che family offend the black-white deity palace's palace master's personal disciple? Some ancestors were bewildered. Pang Bo looked at Che Suping from head to toe, you're the Ziwei city's Che family's patriarch, Che Suping. Che Suping's heart tightened, but he quickly cupped his fists, this one is indeed Che Suping. Greetings to several lords from the black-white deity palace. Then he added, I was invited by Castellan Lord Su Qing to attend the banquet, may I know what matter lords have with me? Indifferent smile appeared on Pang Bo's face seeing Che Suping mention Su Qing's name, Che Suping, let me ask you, Brother Wenhua's steward Kong Jianxin was injured by your Che family's experts, even his godhead and meridians were shattered, is this true? Pang Bo's words caused an uproar among the crowd. What? There's such a thing. Third young master Su's steward Kong Jianxin was injured by Che family's experts. Even his godhead and meridians were shattered. This is too ruthless. Is this Che family crazy? They actually dared to injure third young master's steward to this extent. Experts from various forces were shocked and surprised. Wu family's patriarch Wu Weidong, who had a conflict with the Che family, was among the crowd watching this scene. Indifferent smile appeared on his face. Facing Pang Bo's question, Che Suping braced himself and explained nervously, "At that time, Steward Kong came to my Che family." But, just as he was about to explain, Zhu Weijin cut him off. Families manners families experts, you only, and meridians." Suping's words. "Speak." Zhu Weijin suddenly bellowed, a cold light flashing in his eyes, and a terrifying aura rushed towards Che Suping and the others. Zhu Weijin was the fourth disciple of the Black-White Deity Palace. His cultivation was not weak as he already had 7 totem ancient gods. Under Zhu Weijin's might, Che Suping only felt suffocated. On the other hand, Che Xiaoning was only a peak late-stage god. She was not even the ruler of a plane. Under Zhu Weijin's pressure, her face paled. She felt like she was being crushed by a terrifying mountain. She was forced to her knees. Che Ani and Che Chunli were both ancient god realm experts with 3 totems, thus, they were still able to hold their breath and staggered backward. Che Suping looked at Zhu Weijin in shock and could only answer truthfully, "He was heavily injured by the elders of my Che family." When the crowd heard this, there was another uproar. Indifferent, Zhu Weijin said, "It's good that you admit it. Our Black-White Divine Palace's disciples have always been clear about what's right and wrong. Since your Che family destroyed Wenguo's people's godheads and divine veins, I'll do the same to you." Not waiting for Che Suping to argue, Huang Xiaolong's palm struck out, landing on Che Suping's chest. Zhu Weijin's attack was too fast. Caught off guard, Che Suping was sent flying by Zhu Weijin's palm, crashing heavily on the ground. A loud boom resounded from the ground. Che Suping vomited blood. Zhu Weijin's attack earlier was destroying Che Xiaoning's vitality. Moreover, many of Che Xiaoning's divine veins had already been destroyed by Zhu Weijin. "Father!" Che Xiaoning screamed in agony. Her eyes were bloodshot as she glared at Zhu Weijin. Indifferent smile appeared on Pang Bo's face watching this, reckless things. "Do you think we won't dare to touch you just because you received Uncle Su's invitation?" Pang Bo's palm also struck out at Che Ani and Che Chunli. Che Ani and Che Chunli were also sent flying. As for Che Xiaoning, she was only a peak late-stage heavenly god realm cultivator. After being struck by Pang Bo's palm force, she was sent flying like a broken kite, crashing into the ground some distance away, unconscious. Then, Zhu Weijin took another step forward, striking out again at Che Suping's chest, shattering the rest of her divine veins. Clearly, Huang Xiaolong had shattered all of Che Suping's divine veins, not just a few. Pang Bo also made his move, shattering Che Ani and Che Chunli's remaining divine veins. In the inner hall, Su Qing was chatting happily with Lu Shangyi and several other big shots. Suddenly, he heard energy fluctuations and loud noises coming from outside, causing him to frown. "What's going on?" Su Qing asked Senior Commander Du Heng beside him. Senior Commander Du Heng quickly went out to inquire. Soon, Du Heng returned and reported to Su Qing, "It's several lords from the Black-White Deity Palace." After a slight hesitation, he added, "I heard that a few days ago, third young master's steward, Kong Jianxin, was heavily injured by the Che family's elders. Even his godhead and divine veins were shattered." When Lord Zhu Weijin learned of the Black-White Deity Palace's Pang Bo and Lord Pang Bo, he felt indignant for the third young master. Therefore, just now, he also destroyed the Che family's patriarch, Che Suping's divine veins and godhead. Lu Shangyi, who was leisurely sipping on his tea, felt an explosion in his mind when he heard Du Heng's words. His face tightened, and he jumped to his feet with a terrifying expression. "What did you say just now? Who was it?" Senior Commander Du Heng was startled by Lu Shangyi's reaction. Looking at Lu Shani's horrified expression, Du Heng explained, it was the Black-White Deity Palace's Pang Bo and Lord Zhu Weijin. Lu Shani roared in anger, I'm asking, whose divine veins and godhead were they destroyed? Du Heng's heart shuddered at Lu Shani's angry roar. He knew Lu Shani well. Lu Shani was always smiling, and he had never seen Lu Shani so angry. Moreover, Lu Shani seemed to be afraid. As if the sky was collapsing. Watching Lu Shani's reaction, Su Qing and several other big shots were astonished. Brother Lu. Su Qing stood up and called out. Lu Shani dashed out of the inner hall like a madman, rushing out of the hall. Su Qing and several other big shots exchanged glances. Let's go out and take a look. Su Qing said solemnly as he followed Lu Shani out of the hall. For some reason, he had a bad premonition. He had a good relationship with Lu Shani, and he had never seen Lu Shani so angry and fearful. Lu Shani's fear was because Che Suping's divine veins and godhead were destroyed. Soon, Lu Shani reached the outer hall. Zhu Weijin had already sent out several palm strikes, but seeing Che Suping on the verge of death, he sent out another palm strike. All of a sudden, a person rushed out from the inner hall, meeting Zhu Weijin's palm strike head-on. Bang! Shockwaves from the palm strike swept out. Zhu Weijin staggered back from the impact. Everyone was dumbfounded. Su Tong's brows furrowed as she looked at Lu Shani. Stop! Su Qing, who had chased after Zhu Weijin, Pang Bo, and the others, hurriedly shouted. He was afraid that Zhu Weijin, Pang Bo, and the others would attack Lu Shani. Lu Shani was a member of the Scarlet Flame Chamber of Commerce. If they fought, it would be troublesome. Even Su Qing, the Ziwei city's castellan, had to be respectful when facing Lu Shani. Patriarch Che. After forcing Zhu Weijin back, Lu Shani hurried to Che Suping's side and helped her up, calling out anxiously. Chapter 299. Although Che Suping was on the verge of death, he still retained a trace of consciousness. Seeing that it was Lu Shani, he forced a smile, Lord Lu. This smile made Lu Shani feel ashamed and fearful at the same time. Looking at Che Suping's smile, Lu Shani suddenly felt like crying, Patriarch Che, I'm sorry, I'm late. Che Suping shook his head weakly. Just as he was about to speak, he vomited a mouthful of blood and fainted. Lu Shani's heart tightened watching this, glaring angrily at Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo, you're in big trouble. Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo's faces sank hearing this. Got into big trouble? Zhu Weijin laughed coldly, where did you come from, you reckless old thing? Su Qing quickly stepped forward, explaining, this is the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Purple Myrtle City branch's president Lu Shani. Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo were stunned. Even Su Tong and the other two Black-White Deity Palace disciples were surprised, they didn't expect the person who saved Che Suping to be the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce's Purple Myrtle City branch's president. Zhu Weijin was speechless. Although the Black-White Deity Palace was one of the Eternal Star Field's 100 sects, and one of the few super sects in the boundless world, the Red Flame Chamber of Commerce was the Eternal Star Field's #1 Chamber of Commerce. Su Qing said to Senior Commander Du Heng beside him, why aren't you saving him? Che Suping was someone he invited, but Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo injured Che Suping during his banquet. This greatly displeased him, but since Zhu Weijin and Pang Bo were disciples of the Black-White Deity Palace's palace master, he couldn't vent his anger. At this time, Su Tong stepped forward and said to Su Qing, Uncle Su, these two junior brothers were reckless, attacking during your banquet. I apologize on their behalf. Seeing Su Tong apologizing, Su Qing hurriedly said, Goddess Su is too polite, it's just a small matter. Small matter? Lu Shani sneered, you think this is a small matter? You're in big trouble. Pang Bo couldn't resist blurting out, big trouble? You're talking about this little Che family? What a joke. Little Che family. Lu Shangyi's words reminded him of the hundreds of thousands of Blood Moon faction's members. And he sneered, "Che, wait for your death. Wait for death." When Su Tong heard this, she was very displeased. Su Qing and the other big shots frowned as well. They felt that Lu Shangyi was exaggerating. The matter of Ziwei City's City Lord Manor reached the ears of the Che family's experts very quickly. An expert of the Che clan anxiously knocked on Che Peng's palace. "Come in." Che Ziping stopped cultivating and said. After that expert from the Che clan came in, he first bowed to Che Peng before crying, "Old ancestor, something happened to the clan head and the others in the city lord's mansion." He continued, "News has just spread that the Black-White Deity Palace's palace master's disciple crippled their godheads and meridians. I heard it's because of what happened to Kong Jianxin a few days ago. His godhead and meridians were destroyed." Che Zipeng's face darkened. Yes, other than the patriarch, third young master, An Yi, and Chun Li were all crippled. The Che family's expert cried, "I heard that the patriarch and the others have already fainted." Che Peng suddenly stepped into the air and arrived above the Che mansion. He stood high in the air and released his aura in a frenzy. He no longer suppressed his aura. Boom! When Che Peng's aura was fully released, heaven and earth rumbled, and a bright light shone. A terrifying storm swept across heaven and earth. At this moment, everyone in Ziwei City felt Che Peng's terrifying aura. Even the people in the city lord's mansion far away from the Che mansion could feel Che Peng's majestic aura. So strong. This is an ancient god with 11 totems. The several 10 great totem realm experts standing beside Su Qing exclaimed in shock. An ancient god with 11 totems. The Castellan mansion's experts were astounded. Even in the boundless world, there weren't many ancient gods with 11 totems. Even Castellan Su Qing had just condensed 10 totems. That direction, it seems to be the Che mansion's direction. Suddenly, someone said. What, the Che mansion's direction? Everyone was surprised. Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others exchanged a glance. At this time, Su Wenhua said, "It's just a direction, the Che family's strongest expert is Che Suping, it can't be the Che family's expert." The experts in Ziwei City nodded. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded, "Who dares to hurt my Che family's disciples, come out and face your death." The voice reverberated in every corner of Ziwei City. Everyone was shocked. Su Qing's brows furrowed, and he looked at Lu Shangyi. It seemed like Lu Shangyi already knew about the Che family's 11 totems expert. Was this the calamity that Lu Shangyi mentioned? Thinking of this, Su Qing broke through the void and arrived above the city lord's mansion. He was curious about the Che family's 11 totems ancient god. Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, Su Shaoling, Su Wenhua, and the others also broke through the void and arrived above the city lord's mansion. Pang Bo sneered, "It's just 11 totems, just my eldest senior sister alone can fight an ancient god with 11 totems." There was no need to doubt the terror of 11 totems. When Che Peng was in the Northern Desolate Divine Mansion, he single-handedly suppressed the entire Northern Desolate Divine Mansion. To a 10 great totem ancient god, 11 totems were invincible. However, there were exceptions. There were a few monstrous geniuses in the Eternal Star Field who could fight an ancient god with 11 totems. For example, Su Tong, the Heaven's Vault Palace's young palace master, the Cold Solitude sect's chief disciple, and the Eternal Divine Mansion's young palace master. As everyone arrived above the city lord's mansion, they saw an elegant figure standing in the air above the Che family's mansion. Following that, one after another, totems soared into the sky. A 120 li totem. Su Qing's eyes narrowed. Even Su Tong's brows furrowed. Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others' faces stiffened. Although Su Tong could fight an ancient god with 11 totems, it depended on what kind of 11 totems they were facing. An ancient god with a 120 Li totem was far stronger than an ordinary 11 totems. Soon, Che Peng's 11 totems flew out, but right after the 11 totems, another totem flew out. 12 totems. Su Qing, Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others were shocked when they saw Che Peng's 12th totem. Although 11 totems ancient gods were rare in the eternal star field, some super sects still had them. For example, the Black-White Divine Palace had 11 totems ancient gods. However, 12 totems were hard to come by. In the eternal star field, there were countless super sects and billions of experts, but there were only 3 known ancient gods with 12 totems. Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others looked at Su Wenguo. Wasn't the Che family just an ordinary first-rate family in the Ziwei city? How could there be a 12th totem ancient god? Moreover, it was a 120 Li totem. Su Wenguo also had a look of disbelief on his face. Since when did the Che family have a 12th totem ancient god? Standing behind Su Wenguo, the Wu family's patriarch, Wu Weidong, also paled. Che Peng's cold gaze pierced through the air, landing on Su Tong, Pang Bo, and Zhu Weijin, who were clad in the Black-White Divine Palace's disciple robes. Chapter 300. Everyone's attention was on Che Peng. Including the experts in the Che mansion, all of them were looking at Che Peng with astonishment. The Che family elder who had returned from outside this time was actually a 12 totem expert. Even Lu Shangyi was surprised. He thought it would be Lord Xiaojin, the golden retriever expert, who would have thought it would be Che Peng. Even more so, this scholarly-looking Che Peng standing beside Lu Yiping was a 12 totem expert. 12 totems? Lu Shangyi muttered to himself. If Che Peng had 12 totems, then how many totems did that Lord Xiaojin have? Perhaps, he had already surpassed the ancient god realm. Indifferent, Che Peng looked at Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others. Since your Black-White Deity Palace's people destroyed Su Ping's group of 4 godheads and meridians, then I will also destroy the godheads and meridians of your Black-White Deity Palace's 6 people. What? Che Peng's words shocked the Castellan Manners experts. Che Peng wanted to destroy the godheads and meridians of the Black-White Deity Palace's 6 people. Even Goddess Su Tong's godhead and meridians were going to be destroyed. Even Su Qing's daughter Su Xiaoling's godhead and meridians were going to be destroyed. Su Tong's face turned ugly. Su Qing frowned, taking a step forward, cupping his fists at Che Peng. This senior Che, this is the Black-White Deity Palace's current generation's goddess, Goddess Su Tong. These 3 are the Black-White Deity Palace's palace master's personal disciples. He pointed at Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and Su Xiaoling. Then, he added, this is my daughter. He pointed at Su Xiaoling. The other 2 are the Black-White Deity Palace's ancestors' personal disciples. He pointed at the remaining 2 Black-White Deity Palace's disciples. He wanted to tell Che Peng that Su Tong's group was not ordinary Black-White Deity Palace's disciples. Su Tong's group of 6, 4 of them were Black-White Deity Palace's personal disciples, and 2 of them were Che Peng's beloved daughter. This Che family's expert actually wanted to destroy his daughter's godhead and meridians. Oh, is that so? Che Zipeng's voice was as cold as before as he suddenly punched toward Su Tong and the others. Today, whoever tries to stop me, I'll destroy them. The roar of the carriage resounded throughout Ziwei City. As Che Peng's fist blasted out, suddenly, the heavens and earth paused. The sky above Ziwei City, which was originally bright and sunny, suddenly turned into a vast starry sky, with stars appearing one after another. The enormous fist imprint, which was covered in layers of starfire, shattered layers of space, traversed an unknown distance, and then blasted toward Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and the others. Even though they were separated by layers of space, everyone could still feel the terrifying power of the Starflame Divine Fist. All the masters in Ziwei City raised their heads and stared at the Starflame Divine Fist in horror. The experts from the City Lord's mansion were equally shocked. "Quick, activate the mansion's grand formation!" Su Qing roared. All the masters in the City Lord's city panicked and quickly activated the grand array in the City Lord's mansion of Ziwei City. Immediately, layers upon layers of light shot up into the sky. The Ziwei City Lord mansion's array was rarely activated, only when the mansion was in danger of being destroyed would it be activated. Su Qing was a core disciple of the Su family, one of the 100 sects, and had a close relationship with the Black-White Palace, one of the 100 sects. Therefore, no one had ever attacked the Ziwei City Lord Mansion, and he had never activated the City Lord Mansion's array. This was his first time as the Ziwei City's City Lord. Following the activation of the City Lord Mansion's array, Su Qing roared, "Arrange the Ziwei Divine Array, attack!" Immediately, the tens of thousands of guards in the City Lord Mansion arranged the Ziwei Divine Array according to the Ziwei Star's position, and at the same time, the blades in their hands slashed out. Su Tong's body also emitted a bright light, and 10 great totems flew out, each one was 130 miles long. The aura on her body was so strong that the nearby masters retreated in shock. Su Tong suddenly punched out with both fists. In an instant, the power of darkness and light roared out from her fists. This was the Black-White Palace's ultimate skill, the Black-White Divine Fist. After cultivating the Black-White Divine Fist, the power of one fist could trigger the power of darkness and light. Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and Su Shaoling also summoned their totems and displayed the Black-White Divine Fist. The power of darkness and light intertwined above Ziwei City, illuminating heaven and earth. Su Qing also made his move, urging the power of the 10 great totems, displaying the Su family's ultimate skill, the 9 Saint Fists. When he punched out with both fists, 9 huge figures appeared behind him, although these figures were blurry, they exuded a shocking pressure. "Sir City Lord, we will lend you a hand." One of the Lin family's 10 totem ancestors, who was on good terms with Su Qing, shouted. This Lin family ancestor also urged his 10 great totems, throwing out a punch with all his might. Seeing this, the masters from the Lin family also urged their totems, attacking with all their might. As the City Lord of Ziwei City, Su Qing was in charge of Ziwei City, so he still had some connections. In an instant, more and more masters in Ziwei City made their move. For a time, the power of the fists was varied, and all kinds of powers were colorful. This time, Su Qing's grand banquet had invited all the patriarchs and ancestors of Ziwei City's super forces. As more and more masters made their move, it was equivalent to raising the power of Ziwei City to shake Che Peng's power. Che Peng's divine fist finally arrived in front of the City Lord Mansion. Bang bang bang. The tens of thousands of guards of the City Lord Mansion arranged the Ziwei Divine Array to attack. The tens of thousands of blade lights slashed on the Starflame Divine Fist, and there was a dense sound. However, when these tens of thousands of blade lights slashed on the Starflame Divine Fist, it felt like a gust of wind blowing on a mountain. It had no effect at all. Then, the power of darkness and light of Su Tong's black and white Divine Fist blasted on the Starflame Divine Fist. The Starflame Divine Fist instantly blasted away the power of darkness and light of the 6 people. Then, Su Qing's 9 Saint Fists, the Lin family ancestor, and the other masters' attacks blasted on the Starflame Divine Fist. However, they were also instantly blasted away by the Starflame Divine Fist. The Starflame Divine Fist did not stop and blasted on the City Lord Mansion's array. Ziwei City trembled violently. The entire Ziwei City seemed to be about to collapse. All the residents in Ziwei City, there was an explosion in their minds, and they only felt the end of the world. Under the bombardment of the Starflame Divine Fist, the Ziwei City Lord Mansion's grand array was destroyed in an instant. The Starflame Divine Fist went straight into the City Lord Mansion. Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, and Su Shaoling were the first to bear the brunt of the Starflame Divine Fist. They were directly blasted away, followed by the city lord mansion's tens of thousands of guards, and lastly, Su Qing, the Lin family ancestor, and the other experts of Ziwei City. Wherever the Starflame Divine Fist passed, Su Qing, the Lin family ancestor, and the others were all plowed away. No one could resist, and no one could escape. As the Starflame Divine Fist plowed away Su Tong, Pang Bo, Zhu Weijin, Su Qing, the Lin family ancestor, and the others, the fist waves blasted to the end of Ziwei City, finally stopping in front of the city walls. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.